What's up? What's up, Dub Wubs? Hey, man, I'm gonna mail that those stickers out to you tomorrow, bro. Just so you know. Can you text me the address again, so I don't have to go through those emails because it's been a while. But I got your stuff ready back there. So what's up, guys? That was my little outro that I did for auditing Erie County for tomorrow. The video that I'm doing for him. It was just like a little. It was him driving in his truck. But it was like 1:38. I wanted to keep that part in so that people would know that he like was following them around, just following the cop at the end, so people wouldn't think that he like, got scared or something. But I was like, man, people are just gonna click off on this part, so I got to make it somewhat interesting. So I like kind of like zoomed in and zoomed out and kind of like did a little something, added some music, and then I was like, it's not enough, dude. People are still gonna they're gonna abandon the video right then. So I had to do something else, and then I added all like these little like glitches and stuff in there to make it more interesting. So hopefully people will watch it. Okay, thanks, dude. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I was trying to do a certain thing, but then like I got this new editing software. It's not new, but it's like Premiere Pro 2025, not the 2024 version. And I started on the 2025 on this project. I could go back to the 2024, which I like better. There's more stuff on there, it seems. And like they changed a bunch of stuff on this one. And it's like, I don't like it as much. And like I was trying to do tutorial to like figure out how to do this thing. And then it's for the old version though, 2025. It's not there. Like they're missing, like they got rid of a bunch of stuff. I'm like, this is like a worse version. It's like I almost want to just go back to 2024. But I actually do like 2024 better. So, but so I just had to like kind of figure it out on my own, dude. I just like went through and just started like messing with stuff. Like, dude, I only use maybe 1% of what's available to me on that editing software. Like there's so much stuff that I could do. So like I think I'm a pretty good editor, at least for like what we do. But I'm like still like a rookie, dude, compared to like some of these guys, like music video guys and stuff like that. They do so much cool editing. A Wayback Machine? What's that? What's a Wayback Machine? So I had a show for us, but I don't know if maybe it's Easter, so no one's going to be in here today. I don't know. I had an interesting topic. So how was your Easter, bro? What'd you do? Go Easter egg hunting? We went to Rodizio's. You guys have those restaurants? Oh, Dubs, Rodizio's. I went to Rodizio's, man. My dad took us, me and my mom. I hadn't been there in like years. It shows old versions. Oh, they have the website, Wayback Machine for websites. Oh, okay. Like old versions for what? For editing or you said for YouTube? Oh, I'm always confused. You know what? I actually noticed I can never figure stuff out when I'm here. And then whenever I rewatch the video and I'm confused, and then I'm like, I know instantly what people were talking about. I'm like, oh, dude. But when I'm here in the moment, I can never figure it out. So we did a 5:30 a.m. Really? I didn't know they had services that early. I went to my brother's wife's family house for lunch and egg hunt. Cool, man. Did you hide the eggs for all the kids? So we're starting to get some people in here. So let's start with the topic. So the topic is, and there's actually a word for it, which I figured out just now. It's called telegony. So it stems from learning all these new words. Microchimerism. I think that's how you spell it, how you pronounce it. Microchimerism, which is basically all of the semen that is inside of a woman, any man that she's had sex with, and this is proven fact, the DNA from the semen goes into her brain, which is actually going to be something that we bring up for the next show too. But so that's a fact. So every man that a woman has had sex with, unprotected sex, his DNA lives inside of her for the rest of her life, which might be, another reason for, again, the next topic that we're going to talk about. But now there's this new theory. It's actually not new. Actually, it was actually known as fact, like way back in the old days from some culture, but it's telegony, which is where the DNA that's inside of the woman affects the children. So the children will take on DNA traits from these other men. That's what telegony is. So it was, thought to be a myth for so many years. And like all this new research is coming out that's saying that it's not a myth. And it's actually a fact amongst a lot of animals. Like dog breeders know about it. Like if they always want like virgin dogs to have, like if they're trying to keep a certain pedigree going, and like that dog it's a purebred dog, but it's had sex with, another mutt or something like that, like they won't want to use it. Like you can't have papers for those dogs because the DNA will go through. It won't really be a purebred dog, right? It'll mess up the pedigree. Horses, they've noticed that. Horse breeding, they do that with. And even I was reading pigeons, for whatever reason, they noticed that. So other animals, it's a real thing. They didn't know if it was with humans, but I'm thinking, if it's with, all these other animals, why wouldn't it be with humans? So, and they noticed it with flies too, fruit flies, that the size, some characteristic of the flies, didn't take on the father's traits. It was the traits in which they mated with prior or whatever. I don't know. I was reading about it, but anyways, people are dropping out of here and nobody wants to hear about this stuff. So I was hoping to have a bigger audience for this. I might save this show for a different time. It goes to the term, the internet is forever. It's a website that catalogs all versions of a website. Okay. The internet is forever, dude. They do need that for YouTube. The egg is the DNA from the female, which never changes like sperm. The only thing that can alter that is the blood flowing, which really is inconsequential. Well, what they're saying though is that the sperm goes in, and I have it all researched and everything. We'll throw some stuff up on the screen, but it goes in and it gets the DNA from the sperm onto all of the unfertilized eggs, and that's how it does it. It doesn't fertilize the unfertilized eggs, but the DNA from the sperm that get all over those unfertilized eggs goes into those eggs. And so like the more times that a woman has sex with somebody, the more and more of their DNA is getting all over those other eggs, right? And so it makes sense from a biological standpoint if you're supposed to just have one person and that's it, and then you just have sex with that one person for your whole life, and then their DNA gets all over these other eggs. It's fine, you know what I mean? It's going to be the same thing. So it could just be giving them more traits, you know what I mean? It could be giving them more traits of that, of the father through, not even the one sperm that fertilizes it from all the other times, you know what I mean? They could get more traits, but if that person's not the actual father, then now they're traits from all these other dudes, right? So it's kind of messed up. I don't know if it's been proven. There's some research on here that says that it's proven. These scientists in Russia proved it. Like, it's a fact. They're saying this is a real thing. They're like, just as it is in horses and dogs and pigeons and flies, it's the same with humans. So it's kind of scary. But I don't know. I think we'll probably save this for maybe the next time, because there's only 4 people in here, so I don't want to do the show if it's going to be no one in here. I guess it's Easter or something. I don't know what the deal is. Chromosomes that makes DNA, not dead cells. Yeah, I mean, I have the articles written down, so you can research them yourself, bro. It's let me see which one. The one that was the Russian one is, it wouldn't let me use that one. Let's see. Let's look at it real quick. So it was, which one was it? It was this Russian website thing. It was like a new one too. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Journal of Medicinal and Clinical Nursing, Scientific Research and Community. This is the one where they're saying this is a fact, bro. Like, this is not up for discussion. Let's see. They're saying, so yeah, they're saying how it's been confirmed through all these other animals. They're talking about the pigeon here, and they're talking about dogs and horses and shit. And then in practice, this means that a woman, or no, science has stated this categorically. The effect of telegony also applies to humans, and in much more clearly expressed form than in the animal world. In practice, this means that a woman who has not even become pregnant carries within her egg cells in which the DNA sequences of all her previous sexual partners have been embedded. It has been long known that a partner's genes can be woven into a woman's genetic system. Telegony proved that a woman's offspring are influenced by all the previous sexual partners, regardless of whether or not she gave birth to them. So it goes on and on, bro, about this stuff. And they're talking about so here we go. An example given is a white woman who had adventures with actors from traveling theaters. They later gave birth to children that did not look like their healthy present fathers, but like those passers-by. And there's this other one that I was looking at where it was like, they were, when I was talking about one of my other shows here, where there was this lady who had a black baby. 2 white people had a black baby, and she had sex with this black dude before her husband, and like it caused this huge thing, and they ended up getting a divorce, and like it ruined it was a whole big old fiasco, bro. And then come to find out that that's what they're thinking that it is. It's that she had sex with this black dude prior to this guy, and so baby's black now, and took on the genes. It's kind of weird, dude. It's like, so like these babies, if a baby takes on that much characteristics from a previous partner, it's like the baby's like half yours. You know what I mean? It's, if that's true, then if that much DNA that it's all, its skin color is black and has, you know, curly hair and everything. I mean, how much of the DNA is actually yours, dude? Like, you think about it, you know? So, a woman had sex with a whole bunch of dudes. How much of the DNA is actually yours? And how much of it is all these other dudes? You know what I mean? It's crazy, dude. I mean, at that point, I mean, if we're talking, you know, by law, I mean, if they could prove this, this would be like something that's proven. I mean, do I even have to pay child support? I mean, it's to that. I mean, what makes you have to pay child support is that it's biologically your kid. Well, I mean, what if they could prove that it takes on more DNA from this other guy? Right? Like, does he have to pay the child support now? I mean, why would I have to pay child support for a baby that takes on more DNA of this other guy? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. You're the one that impregnated her. I'm just saying, though, like, you know, hypothetically. I don't know, man. Like, finding this stuff out would make me, I mean, I don't want to have kids anyways, but it would make me never want to have kids with anyone unless they're a virgin. I don't want my kids ever having like DNA from other fools, man. Fuck that. Yeah, Easter Sunday. Yeah, we'll save this show for something else. It'll just be a bullshit show, I guess. We'll just kind of talk shit. Russian propaganda. Seemed like a legitimate article to me. Yeah. I mean, I don't believe it yet either. I'm not saying this is fact. I'm not, because there's plenty of research out there that says that it's not true also. So this is just newer research that's come out within the last couple of years. So, because it's been thought, you know, looking at the old articles, it's, oh no, it's not a real thing. But now the newer stuff is saying that it is a real thing. It's all brand new stuff. So it'll take a while before they could prove it. But I mean, it's proven with all these other animals, though. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you take, you know, any type of dog breeder, like, they want the virgins to breed. They don't want dogs that have had other litters. You know what I mean? So that it keeps that, unless it's maybe from the same, you know, the same litter or the same pedigree, then it's fine. But if it's like from a different pedigree, that can't be brought in. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why it would be different with humans, especially if it's with multiple species. Like I said, horses, pigeons, flies. Was it mice too? I think maybe mice. So yeah, we'll just do the show. Fuck it. So we already basically did the show. Let's see what I had, like some stuff that it's going to bring up. So this is the article. The implications for women are great. With sperm, when sperm enters a woman, it swims until it hits a wall and then seeps into her flesh. If it's in her mouth, it can get into your nasal areas, behind your eyes, and even your inner ear. So that's crazy. You know what I mean? It then enters your bloodstream and collects in your brain and spine. You can never get rid of it. So this is true. So this is the that term microchimerism. I think it's pronounced. I don't know if that's pronounced right. Microchimerism or something like that. So that's actually a proven fact. You can't get rid of it. It stays. So she, at the very least, does have other men's DNA inside of her brain, guaranteed. But then this part in the second paragraph, with every man a woman has a sexual relationship with, she absorbs his spermatozoa. Whatever that word is sperm, basically, which becomes a part of you forever. The study autopsied the brain of elderly women, many of whom have been carrying male DNA for more than 50 years. This startling and fascinating discovery is only the beginning of understanding the true consequences of sexual intercourse. So, and you know, they said that originally it was thought that if they have a male son, that could be why the DNA is in them, is from the male son. But now they're saying that there's been women who have found to have male DNA inside of them and they never had a son. They only had, two daughters or something like that. So that's not true. And then this is just another article that is basically saying the same thing of how it goes in, you know what I mean? It goes in through the mucosa of the uterine, possibly alters the genetic structure. And then this is that one that the article that I was showing you guys. So telegony here in the middle, telegony proved that a woman's offspring are influenced by all the previous sexual partners, regardless of whether or not she gave birth to them. And then it was talking about, here's the thing that I was talking about. An example of this is given by a white woman who had adventures with actors from traveling theaters. Yeah, so then she had a black baby. Sexual relationships, for example, between white college girls and blacks would be quickly forgotten. But after a few years, when they married white spouses, they would give birth to black babies. Telegonia has confirmed that mothers gave birth to children with hereditary traits of past sexual partners, not only physical, but also mental characteristics. It's clear that the great significance given to virginity, honesty, and fidelity in practicality, all cultures, nations, and religions, with only a few exceptions, has a solid genetic basis. So that's that Russian team right there that are saying that this stuff is true. So, I mean, that's wild, dude. If that's true, man, I mean, won't really be able to prove it for, I don't know how long it'll take for science will accept that, but I mean, it's wild just to think about, dude. And I was thinking about it, like, dude, what about myself? And I was like, because nowadays, I mean, women have sex with a lot of dudes before they get married and have kids. But like, back in the older days, that's going to be the next show. The progression of how many sexual partners people had, and how nowadays, because the average is like, it's really only like 6 women have like 6 sexual partners right now. The average woman. I thought that was kind of low. And I'm thinking, okay, well, the reason I think it's low is because the people that I know have more than 6. And that's because there's still a lot of old people alive, right? Like my grandparents, my grandma on my mom's side, they were both virgins, her and my grandfather. They lost their virginities to each other. They only were with each other the whole time. And that was pretty prevalent back then. And the research I did, it was after 1940. Babies born after 1940 is when it started to change. So my grandparents were born in the 30s. So, and even back then it wasn't quite as bad. And then I think the 70s is when it really started getting bad. You know what I mean? But there's a progression though. I have a chart and everything. This will be for the next show that'll show that the sexual partners increases. So I don't know where I was going with this, but if you have all these sexual partners, it's like, how many people's DNA? Oh, that's the thing about for myself. So I was like, man, how many DNAs do I have, bro? And like, luckily, my mom wasn't a hoe. So to my knowledge, she told me one time that I think she's only had sex with 3 people in her whole life. So she had sex with one person before my dad, my biological father, and then now my stepdad. So that's it. So it was one person before my dad. So I could have some genes from that dude. That's it. And then my sister, same thing. She could have some genes from that guy. That's it. Only one other guy, I guess. But, like, what if your mom is like a porn star, dude? You know what I mean? Like, what if your mom had sex with 500 dudes? Like these porn stars. I mean, that could be even low. Like some of these porn stars, I mean, they porn stars for years and they have kids. They finally get married. Usually they get married to like other porn stars. 2,000 guys. I don't know how many they have sex with, but like, that's crazy, dude. What if you had DNA from all these different people, man? Like, they say like, porn stars, they're kind of crazy. and promiscuous women, kind of crazy, and like that's going to be for the next show, but like part of that could be because they have all this DNA inside their brain from all these other men, and they take on traits too from these men too. They take on like characteristics of these men, and it just stays. And their soul bonds that are created. Like on that article, the Russian one. This is part of it too. So this is going to be for the next show, but every extramarital and something sexual relationship leaves a mark on the partner. It's not possible to unite only with the body without leaving a lasting impression of that person's soul and spirit on them. A physical connection is easy to break, but a spiritual connection remains. So the partner, male or female, does not understand why he cannot love his current partner with all his soul. That's what I'm talking about. These women that like have sex with all these dudes, that's going to be for the next show. Why, women who have sex with, they say more than 6 people, their chances of having a long lasting, like an actual marriage that lasts, goes down to like 20%. The reason is that the soul of the current partner is already tied to previous partners, and this bond drags on and does not give the partner complete freedom. So there's another part to it too, but that's what it is. It's like they have all these soul ties with all these other people still. And so they can't like settle down with someone because like they still in love with this other guy, and it might be, subconscious, but like men can have sex with a woman and not create these soul ties. They still do, but not as much as women. Because like I was saying, women generate more oxytocin, which is a pair bonding hormone when they have sex with somebody. That's why women create a lot of oxytocin, because they have to nurse this baby. They have to take care of this baby, right? And when you have a baby, you don't know the baby. It's just like it's a stranger. So the first time they're breastfeeding them, when you hug and embrace another human for more than 30 seconds, you start releasing oxytocin. So the very first time they're breastfeeding and they're sitting there holding them, for however many minutes it is, they're creating all this oxytocin and they're instantly bonding with their baby. And that's why oxytocin is there, is so that it can bond the mother with their child, so that they can do anything they can to keep it alive, because they're going to need to be there to keep it alive for years. And again, they're a stranger to them. They don't know them. So that's why women create that. So when you have all this oxytocin, you're creating all these soul ties with all these dudes. I mean, how are you supposed to, settle down with one guy? I mean, it's harder, right? So anyways, that's for the next show, but that's kind of all I had for this show. So if anyone wants to, got some comments unread here, if anyone wants to chime in on it or anything. Oh yeah, so we're talking. I don't know if you're still here rewatching, but we're talking about telegony, telegony, how the DNA of prior sexual partners influence the genetics of the children. So that's what we're talking about. That's what telegony is. Right, I guess so. But I mean, sperm though is like has the DNA that it's gonna have like the traits. I don't know how it works. I'm not a doctor. I'm just speculating. It determines traits of the baby. It determines how tall they're going to be, how what blood type they're going to have, what color their eyes are, right? So that's what sperm does. So I don't know if saliva doesn't do that. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. But I see what you're saying though with it, with the saliva thing too. That's DNA too. Maybe it's the fact that saliva. I don't know. And if you're going down on a chick, I don't know. Maybe it does that too with saliva. Maybe it's saliva is part of it too, bro. You know what I mean? Don't count that out. But I'm thinking, Saliva in the mouth, from kissing is different, but it still could get into their body. Maybe she has DNA. Maybe guys too have DNA from every single woman they've ever kissed. And it goes into their brain too. Who knows? Um, but I was thinking, as far as it affecting the children's DNA, though, from kissing, it wouldn't do that, or even from fellatio, it wouldn't do that, because they in that article it said that it can get into your brain from fellatio because it goes into your nasal passages or behind your eyes, even, or your ear canal. It goes up into your brain, but when you have sexual intercourse, though, that's when it goes into that thing, whatever. That's how it gets in there, because it's down in that area. You know what I mean? So that's how it gets into the unfertilized eggs. So that's probably how it works, though. But yeah, it could be saliva too. I guess but just saliva is harder to get in there. Like, if you think about, like, a penis is inside of it, you know what I mean? And then it releases all this semen. You can't do that with spit, with saliva. It's not getting in there that same way. So that's the difference. Well, I think it changes the human themselves, because not only does the child have genes from past partners, but the woman herself has DNA from her past partners too. And if the saliva thing's a fact, like you said, that means men do too, from every woman they kissed. But that's the thing. If it's not saliva, though, if it's only semen, men don't have any semen going inside of them. Like, men don't have things going inside of them that carry DNA, right? So, like, men do get some. That's how men get STDs, is it goes in through the urethra. And I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is just all the stuff is my opinion that I've read. But that's how men get STDs. It goes in through the urethra. But, like, there's no DNA going into the urethra, right? With sperm, that's what it is. It's DNA. So, and that's why men actually are less likely to contract STDs than women are. So actually, that's why they used to say that HIV was like the gay virus back before it was really known. Like when it first came out, it was known as the gay virus because gay people got it more often than heterosexual couples did. And that's because, it's the semen, because there's something that goes inside of the other person. But men can still get it from heterosexual sex. Because I said, it can go through the urethra, but the chances are low. And the reason I know this is years ago when I got an HIV test, that's what the guy told me that gave me the HIV test at this clinic. He was just like, if you have heterosexual sex, he asked all the questions. Have you had sex with another man? No. Okay. All the questions. And then, he tells you all the information as they take your blood and they test it. It's like an instant test. It takes like 5 minutes. And as we're waiting and you're like nervous as shit, he's telling you all the facts. And like, if you have heterosexual sex, the chances of you contracting HIV are very low, all this stuff. So, but you still can. It's lower though. So. No, because here, let me show you, Candace. So it is, I have the screenshot, not that one. So the infiltration of sperm into the somatic tissues of the female genital tract, or the presence of fetal genes in the mother's blood. It is highlighted that sperm penetrates into the mucosa of the uterine and possibly alters the genetic structure. So that's how it goes through the mucosa. And this is all stuff I have no clue what this means. This is just something I'm reading here. So, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what a mucosa is, but That's what they're saying. So yeah, you're right. In order to fertilize the egg, it has to be that way. But we're talking about like all the unfertilized eggs, and they don't get fertilized that way. That's not how they get fertilized. It's how the DNA gets on them, I guess. So sorry, I'm gonna change the song here. Too much of one song. So, anyways, what else is new, guys? I got some new stuff. So I got this thing, right? I got this little stand. So I got another one of these. It's not a mic stand. This is actually like, it's like a little tripod. It's actually, these are called these are monopods. So I learned about this from Sweet Tea. She had these, and then I started getting, because when I first started, I had a monopod. But this is a monopod also, and you can take these parts off. So it's just really a monopod, but it has these things that come out at the bottom and they fold up. So it's a monopod. Like that. It's really a monopod, but then you can do it, you can put these down. It's not really a tripod. Tripod has 3 full of these things that go up. And I have one of those, and I tried using it once, but it's so bulky and like hard to, this is more easy, just kind of for audits to move around with. Those are good if you're like going somewhere where you're going to set your camera up, like if I was doing street interviews or something like that, I would use the actual tripod. But so anyways, I got this because I hooked up my camera, this microphone to it. So like this will sit on here like this, right? So it'll be like a mic stand. So on my audits now, because I was like, my audio sometimes sucks because the way my new setup is, I used to have it so that my microphone was on top of my camera, and it would be really good because if you're talking directly behind the camera, it picks up your audio pretty good. But now it's down on, I got this new really good mic, and it's too heavy to be on the camera for my gimbal, so it has to be down here now, like on my stick. So I'm talking up here, so sometimes it doesn't pick it up very well. And if I'm on the side, it's a directional mic, so it only picks up the stuff on the front and a little bit on the back. But it's okay if it's just a little bit on the back because I'm basically talking right into it. But since now it's down here, and if I'm talking on the side like I was at the rec center, right? I'm talking way over here on the side, like you can hardly hear me and shit. So I was like, I got to figure some out. So I wanted to get those Lavelle mics. They clip on and shit, but like the kit that I want to get is like $400, right? So I want to get the good stuff. I only get good stuff, and I like cheap stuff. It's like, oh, I just can't afford that right now. So I was like, well, I already have the receiver, right? So I got the receiver here, right, for this mic. And so what I'd need to get is like the the receiver, and then you got the transmitters, I think. And then those hook up to your little lapel mics, right? And they have the transmitter on them. I think they're called transmitters. But you can't just buy those separately. You got to get the whole kit. It's like, oh, I'm going to spend $400. So I was like, well, I could probably hook this microphone. I can. I figured it out. I can hook this microphone up. I just had to get this one cord, and I got it. It was like $10. So I can have, because I have 2 channels on this thing. I can have one channel with this microphone and then one channel with my good microphone to catch everything, which is good to have when you're doing street interviews anyway. So like somebody's walking by and they become part of the thing and they're saying something, you want to get that audio too, then I'll just have it. So I was like, all right, man. All right. So what I'm going to do instead now is I'm just going to hook this thing up. So it's going to be cool because it's like more intimidating, I guess. Right. Because now I'm walking in with like not just a Lavelle mic, but like, dude, I'm walking in with like my big ass setup. You guys have seen that. And then plus this other microphone's gonna be hooked up. That's gonna be funny. I'm gonna be talking into my own mic, just so I can get better audio. You know what I mean? Of myself talking sometimes. So I can like take my mic with me and like I can leave my camera somewhere. I can take my mic and get good audio of myself, and then like I can go stand off to the side and get great audio of myself. I talk right into my mic, and then my other mic will be pointing towards them. So they're going to get good audio too. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's like, oh, this is going to be cool because no one's done it. I don't think anyone's done it this way. I know there are some guys that have like the Lavelle mics and shit. Like the audit that I did with Jim Freedom and Direct D at the prison, I was wearing Jim Freedom's Lavelle mic. And so my audio was crisp, dude. Like you could hear me perfectly. And I really like that shit. And so, but now it'll be the same, which is going to be through this. And this is actually even better than those. Like extreme. It's like a really nice microphone. It's not like the top of the line, but it's a really nice one. So, and my audio sounds pretty good, right? Hold on, let me see. It seems loud. Turn this down. That's why. Don't need all that shit all loud in here. Okay, hold on. We got Candace in here saying stuff. It seems this theory is disproven already because when looking at DNA, they can show half of the chromosomes come from mom and half from dad. There's no extra from anyone else. Okay. I'm all open to anything. Like I said, I'm not saying this is fact. It's just stuff that I came across that I thought was interesting. But I mean, that doesn't explain what if it's not just half and half though. I mean, how do they know it's half and half? I don't know. Like, how do you explain the black baby? You know what I mean? How do you explain like the horses and stuff? They have like all of a sudden these horses have different stripes and stuff that they shouldn't have, right? So, but I mean, human wise, I mean, there's been all these instances where people say, oh, dude, like jokes and stuff. Oh, that baby looks like your ex. You know what I mean? And like people say that. You ever heard people say that? I've heard people say stuff like that. Oh, the baby looks like your ex. So. And I don't know if that's a disproven though. I don't know if it's disproven. I mean, it's a good argument. I wouldn't say disproven though. Is that article trying to say that a man's DNA is getting into a woman's brain and changing her DNA? I don't know if it's changing her DNA, but yeah, it's a fact. Like that's a proven fact. Like there's article after article saying that's called microchimerism. I don't know. I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but that's a fact. They do store DNA in their brains. And again, it was thought to be that it was just from male children that they had. So like my mom would have my DNA inside of her brain, but then they found that there's lots of women that have male DNA in their brains that don't have any male children. They don't have any sons. So that's a definite fact. I don't know if it's changing their DNA. It could be changing their DNA. I don't know, but I don't know if it's changing their DNA or if it's just influencing them. Like they have other DNA. It's not their DNA, but they have other DNA in them now. So maybe it's that DNA is causing characteristic traits. Maybe it's causing even physical traits, stuff like that. I mean, and it's energy too. Like sometimes people can literally start looking like other people. You know what I mean? It's energy though that transfers, and you hang out with a certain person. You know what I mean? And people like that are energy vampires, and they take your energy. Like if they're like, they can start looking like you. I don't think some people think this is crazy, but like if you hang out with someone and they're an energy vampire and they absorb your energy, they will start looking like you and you'll start looking like them. There's this spiritual lady that I follow, and she was talking about how when she was in high school, there was this chick who was like her friend, but not really a friend. And she was like always jealous of her because she was, a lot prettier than her. And she would like, it was like an energy vampire. And she noticed that like all of a sudden she started like getting more pretty and she was getting like less pretty. And it was, I don't know if that's exact details, something like that. And so she like cut out ties with her and like she came back to her normal self. So anyways, that's for a totally different show, but you have to have a dual mic set up, editing required. Yeah. So like I already have 2 channels. Like normally, I just have 2 channels from my one microphone, and then it's just 2 channels of the same audio. But now it'll be one from this and one from my other mic. And so there is editing required, but like I'll just drop the audio from this onto the timeline when I'm editing, and then I can just use that. And then I can use, if something else is happening over there, I can get rid of them. I can cut out the audio from this and then just use the audio from the other channel, right? And then vice versa, I can switch it up. And like I got this is the it's the Wireless Pro. So I have the Wireless Go, which is it's like the step down from the Pro. So Rode has Go and Pro. A lot of guys, they just use Go because it gets the job done. But the only difference is like this doesn't require any like audio syncing for whatever reason. It's better. And also it stores the audio on here on its own memory. So in case I lose it. So I've never tried it that way. So I'm not sure how it works. I'll have to figure that out. How to get the audio from that. Yeah, I mean, you guys both think it's questionable. That's fine. I mean, I think it's questionable too. I'm not saying this is fact, guys. It's definitely not proven. I'm just saying it's a theory and it's interesting though. That's why I'm talking about it on my show, because it's very interesting. If it was true, that would be crazy, man. And I'm not saying that it's not true. I mean, it makes sense, just from, looking at it the way I'm looking at it with no, I'm not a scientist or anything, but I'm not just believing anything I hear either though. You know what I mean? So that's not true either. Okay. There'd be proof in the DNA though. Like some of the man's or woman's DNA would have to be missing and replaced with someone else's. Okay. See, that's beyond my knowledge there. So I have no idea. This would be a good question to ask my sister, because she's actually going to be a PhD. She's going to school right now for a PhD in like this type of thing, like IVF and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what the degree is, but she's going to school right now. She's coming out here too. She's going to be here Saturday. So I'll ask her about this. See what she says. Maybe I'll have an update for you guys. I mean, she's a good credible source here. So, and she doesn't have her PhD yet, but I mean, she's already been going to school for a while. And so she knows a lot about this stuff. Yeah, but what if like the half that's mapped to the dad, what if that half is really like, 40% the dad or 80% the dad and 20% the other dudes. You know what I mean? What if that's it? Maybe it's just half the DNA is mapped to the man. I don't know. Oh, hey, that's a good point, Dub. The term "you bear 1 in a million chance you are the father," that's a probability, not an exact science. That's true. So like when they do those tests, it's like, when they say you are the father, right? Like the Murray show. I mean, there's still a chance, a very, very small chance, but it's not 100% that you're the father. Now, if you're not the father, it's 100% though, right? It's like 100% you are not the father, because it's like 1 in more billion people that are even on the planet, so it's 100%. But if you are the father, it's only a likelihood, and you pretty much take that to the bank, because I mean, 1 in a million, if that's what it is, 1 in a million, it's like, what are the chances, right? So it's what are the chances? It's 1 in a million. It's very low, but it's still, it's not 100% though, Look, my name matches my vape. I did that on purpose, guys. I'll say I got my new license plate up there. It's my grandpa's license plate. They stole my car. Denver police stole my car, dude. My grandfather's car. It didn't have current registration. They towed it. Now they're saying that I have to give them like $480 to get it back. And I got to go there with my driver's license. And I got to go there with proof of insurance. I got to have insurance to drive it away. Otherwise, I have to set up a tow to get it back. I just had my car just parked on the street, dude. It's like, it's parked on a public street that I pay for anyways with my taxes. Like that's why I don't like government. They just, steal my property, dude. Because I didn't pay them money to have it there. You didn't give us money to have your car parked here, so we're going to steal it and then hold it for ransom, charge you $480 to get it back. And there's so many people out there that they believe that, government's good for you. It's a necessary evil. Which is saying that evil is necessary, right? So like Adam Kokesh said, that in the same way, so just as one of the greatest tricks that the devil ever pulled was convincing you that, what was it? That he's not evil? Is that what it is? It's just that the greatest tricks. Oh yeah, that's what it was. As the greatest trick that the devil ever did was convincing you that he doesn't exist. In the same way, the greatest trick the government ever pulled was convincing you it's for your own good. You know, some people, a lot of people believe that. A lot of people in here probably believe, you know, it's for your own good. You got to have it. And I think, you know, probably, you know, if just like the United States got rid of all government right now, today, yeah, it probably wouldn't be a good thing. But if all governments got rid of government, if all countries got rid of their government all at the same time, I think we'd be fine. If there was no government at all. But as long as there's like one country without a government and then other countries with government, it probably wouldn't be good. But, you know, there's even arguments with that too, you know. Like Hirohito said, the reason he didn't invade the mainland in World War II is because there would be a rifle behind every blade of grass. So that's what the Second Amendment's for. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Some people say you have to know evil to know good. You have to know ugly to recognize beauty, etc. I don't know if that has anything to do with the government thing. I don't know how I'd correlate that with it, but yeah, that's true. We live in a world of duality. So in order to recognize beauty, you have to have ugly. Otherwise, you wouldn't know it. That's the whole reason. You know, in the Bible, it says that God is love. So if God is love, the opposite of love is fear. So in order to recognize, at least in this 3D reality that we live in order to recognize what love is, then you have to have fear. So that's why God created human beings, or, you know, life in general, dogs, cats, anything. They're all just souls that are God experiencing himself through duality so that he can know what love is, because he can't know love without the opposite of love. Yeah. I don't know, Candace. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes I think maybe What if like God and the devil are the same? You know, I mean, I definitely know that this world is, I can see the evil in this world. You know, I can see it in other people. I can see it in myself. You know, I'm not over here on any high horse. Like I'm some like great person, dude. I mean, I think I'm a pretty good person, but I do stuff that I regret. I'm like, gosh, why did I do that? And sometimes I'll even know that I'm not doing good while I'm doing it. Then I'll do it anyways, you know, just like everyone in this chat has done. You know, it's just evil exists. And I've seen it a lot, especially when you're on psychedelics, man. You can really sense the energy. You know what I mean? I just want to get to a place where, you know, I don't have to have duality anymore. I think, well, I know singularity is much better than duality. God and Satan are of the same because God created Satan. It's duality, as you've stated. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm not so sure how much of the Christian religion I really believe in. I think they have a lot of really good ideas, and a lot of the Bible coincides with the law of attraction. But I think, you know, a lot of it, I don't believe that hell exists. I don't. I think that's something that the church made up to control people. Make sure you go to church and make sure you pay your taxes, and make sure you do good, or you'll go to hell and you burn forever. That's not true. I mean, I literally think that, like, even Hitler, you know, when he died, you know, they're probably like, come on, dude. You know what I mean? Come on. But, you know, typically there's no judgment when you die. And the reason is because life here on Earth, it's this is just a play. Like, this is a simulation. I mean, this is not, you know, again, this is not magic. This is science. I mean, scientists, physicists are saying, like, they believe this is a simulation here. This isn't reality. Like, your house and your room that you're in, like this house that I'm in, it only exists because I'm here right now. Like, when I was out and about, right, you know, with my mom, no one was here to observe it. It didn't actually exist. It was just ones and zeros, you know, in a computer program, or in so whatever program it is. It doesn't actually exist. Just like a Nintendo game, you know, level 10 doesn't exist until you get to level 10, right? Same theory. So I'm not so sure that how much I really believe in Christianity, but, you know, they have some good stuff to say. And I was raised Catholic, but, you know, when you die, I think that, you know, like I said, even if you're Hitler, I mean, it's bad. And maybe he has karma, or maybe that was what he was supposed to do. You know, that was his whole plan. So that other people could learn things from that too. You know, it was supposed to happen that way. But it's not real life, though. That's the thing. Like, you know, if you killed, you know, millions of people in a computer game, like in a video game, and then, you know, VR, and you came out of it, like, would people think, oh, you're a bad person? You know what I mean? Right? You probably wouldn't think that. That's what I think that life is. I think this is just, you know, when you die, you'll be like, oh my God, like I've said before, man, I took that so seriously, dude. Like, I thought that was everything, you know, and it's just a play. You know, and you look at it, it's like, oh, it's just, you know, it's fake. You know, like you see the actors getting ready to go on stage, right? Like the Truman Show, you know, like with backdrop people or non-playing characters, you know, like they say there's some guy, I don't remember what his name is, that said that some spiritual guy that he thinks that there's probably only about 200 million actual souls on Earth. The rest are backdrop people or non-playing characters. Maybe up to about 500 million max out of the whatever 8 point whatever billion people. So like when you go to the grocery store or you go anywhere, there's a lot of people. Most of them, they're not real. They're backdrop people, dude. They're just part of the program. You know, the people that you interact with, your family, your friends, the people that you interact with every day, those are real people. But everyone else, they're just part of the program. They're just fillers. That's all they are. So, you know, there's not really good or bad. It just is, you know, like this is just, because if you think about it, like, okay, even if you go through, because most people, if they have a shitty ass life, right, they at least had some good times. So, but let's say even you had just a whole life, you got 80 years of pure torture, bro, like straight up torture. I don't know if there's anyone that lived 80 years of straight up torture in the history of human existence, but you know, even people that had shitty ass lives probably had some good things that happened to them. But let's say 80 years of straight up torture, bro. If you compare that to eternity, I mean, it's literally, it's not even a drop in the ocean, dude. That's not even enough, right? So the way my grandfather explained eternity to me is, you guys know the Rock of Gibraltar? I say that in my audit sometimes. His ego's on top of the Rock of Gibraltar. That's where I got that from. Because he explained to me what eternity is. It's like a pelican coming around and flying through once every 1,000 years and taking one peck on the Rock of Gibraltar and then leaving. And then 1,000 years, he comes back and takes one peck in order to disintegrate the Rock of Gibraltar. That's what eternity is. So 80 years compared to eternity, I mean, that would be like, you know, if you lived 80 years, that'd be like, you know, 1 second. It's not even that, but, you know, you try to compare it, it'd be like 1 second of your life of complete torture, right? That's what that would be like. So that's what I'm saying. It's like Earth is, it's just a play, dude. It's not even real. This isn't real. When you die, that's real, right? And even most people would believe that, right? Even if you're Christian, you'd believe that, right? Like Christians believe, most people are Christians. They believe that, you know, you go to heaven or hell and you live forever, no matter what. And this is nothing, dude. This is just like the test or whatever. So. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you never really know anything. What's up, Craig? But I mean, it's pretty. Yeah, I think he's probably a douche. I mean, he actually existed. I mean, we have, you know, video of him and everything else. And guy was a tweaker, dude. You seen those footage of him, dude, tweaking? He was tweaking. That's why he was like the way he was. Dude, he was tweaking, bro. Yeah, dude. Dub Wubs is a douche, bro. Like he's a boogeyman. I'm a douche too. I mean, a lot of people can be douches, but that's the new level douche, I guess. But again, you know, even what he did, if you compare that to eternity, I mean, if you compare like what he did to eternity, right? And it's hard to put your mind around eternity. Let's say you live 100 billion years. Say you live 100 billion years and you take that to that. I mean, that's like somebody like, you know, flicking your ear or something, dude. It's like nothing. So like all the torture that you go through, you know, and I've gone through a lot of bad times. we all have gone through a lot of bad times, and we think it's so bad, man, and why me, and all this stuff. And when you die, and you'll be like, oh man, it's like nothing, dude. In comparison, right? It was just a dream. It was fake anyways. This whole thing is fake. It's real, but this isn't forever. This is very temporary. We at least know that. So if you believe in there's something after this life, that's what's forever, not this. It's like, this is nothing, dude. Like, you take even the good stuff, like, oh, this famous person, like, oh, this guy Eminem, everyone knows Eminem. He's so popular. He's the best rapper of all time. And, but like, after we die, like, that means nothing anymore. It's nothing, dude. People don't care about that. No one's going to care about Eminem, how many records he sold. You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to give a shit about DMA and, how many views he got, or Long Island, how many views he got. Like, that doesn't matter. It's nothing, dude. It's just something that you did in a video game, basically, right? Like, no one's going to care about that. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people say that. My mom, she speaks Spanish like enough to get by, but she can understand it for sure. But speaking it's definitely harder. I've heard that a lot. And, like, time doesn't exist. I mean, time doesn't exist, right? I mean, even Einstein proved that time doesn't exist. And it's funny because, like, humans are like the only ones that are able to try to measure something that doesn't actually exist. It's like everything that has happened, from Adam and Eve to everything that's going to happen in, 1,000 years from now. It's literally all happening at the exact same time. It just seems like it's linear to us. It's an illusion. Yo, what's up, Wade? You're late, dog. Yeah, a bunch of people late today. I kind of started this stream earlier than I usually do, so maybe that's what it was. I didn't have anyone in here in the beginning. Yeah, it's not like riding a bicycle. You know what I mean? Like second languages, it's not like riding a bicycle. If you don't practice it, you'll forget. Like my sister, she used to speak like really good Spanish, and then, she had no reason to speak Spanish, so she just forgot. She forgot it all. Kind of sucks. So she's up to like Spanish 7 or whatever. I don't know how far she went, but like she took a ton of Spanish in school, and she learned it all. She's pretty good because, my mom, she didn't speak to us in Spanish. And like she said, like, yeah, I should have, talked to you guys in Spanish more, because that's how my mom learned Spanish. I mean, my grandparents, all 4 of them, their first language is Spanish. English was their second language. So they used to speak Spanish all the time. So like my mom picked up Spanish, but even them, they didn't really speak to them in Spanish that much, because they wanted them to be, American, that kind of thing, which was stupid because, when you're a kid, that's how you learn 2 languages. You learned English, right? You just learned the whole language when you're a kid. So you could learn Spanish too. So it kind of sucks because, people like a lot of times like Mexicans, they'll you know, try to talk to me in Spanish, and I'm like, oh, I don't know Spanish. No habla español, you know. So I wish that I knew Spanish. Oh shit, Jenny isn't here. What's up, Jenny? Let's see what else we got. Anything new or interesting that you guys would care about? Let's see. So I got a new video dropping tomorrow. It's auditing Erie County showcase. And I got these new, I got a new wire for my headphones. So I was looking it up because I was using these headphones, and then my editing software crashed, and I had like all my files on all my hard drives like gone, and I thought I lost everything. I was like freaking out. And then all of a sudden the next day, like came back, and I was like, I looked it up, and I was like, can a bad, you know, headphones cause, like, a bad wire cause editing software to crash? And they're like, yeah. I said it could. So I ordered a new wire for these. The Beat Studio is what I use sometimes. And like, I can use my other headphones, these ones that I use for streaming sometimes. I can use these, but like they're Bluetooth. So the problem with those is that there's a slight delay. So like if you're editing something, you don't want any delays. So I use these. And these are actually Beats. These are real Beats. So you guys know that Dr. Dre, he sold Beats to Apple for like 800 million or something. And I don't know when it was, but he sold them. But these are actual Beats, and they're better. Now that Apple has it, it's not as good. I saw this video, they're comparing like components and stuff, and like the Beats headphones are better quality. So these are old as shit, dude. I mean, look at my freaking, like, see the thing, they're all kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like kind of like wearing out and shit. They're like wore out, dude. They're old. These are from like 2012. My stepdad bought me these. You see like the headband things getting all messed up right here on the sides. And I haven't used them that much, but they're just like, they're getting old. So, but these are really good headphones, man. Really good ones. It's really, they're called the Beats Studio, I think they're called. And bass is really good on these. Really good crisp sound. You know, it's pretty similar to these ones that I got. These are the HyperX ones that I use for my streaming. But, and I could probably actually, I could use these for streaming, I think too, actually. I probably could. Just, that's why like computers, they still have, like, I was like, why the heck does, you know, because like this wired stuff has gone away. I was like, why does my computer still have a headphone jack? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. But now I just kind of realized, if you're using, you know, headphones for editing, you want to have this because it doesn't have the delay. So that makes sense. But I could probably use these for streaming too. I should use these. But so anyways, I ordered a new one of these cords. There's a brand new cord. I was like, what if that cord, you know, because it worked, but like sometimes it'd be kind of staticky, you know, and I plugged it in, like stuff like that. I was like, I don't know, what if that cord was bad? So anyways, I got a new cord, guys. I talk about a bunch of, you know, nonsense bullshit in here. But, you know, it's good information. I mean, you know, Beats, these are the real Beats, man. These are the ones that were, when Beats were actual Beats, not just Apple. And, you know, that's actually a Mandela effect. You know, a lot of people think that it's Beats by Dre. You know, it's not Beats by Dre. It's Beats by Dr. Dre. He says right there. Beats by Dr. Dre. Beats by Dre. And it was never Beats by Dre. A lot of people remember. I remember it as Beats by Dre. I always say Beats by Dre. And I even when I looked it up, this thing, I was like, headphone wire for Beats by Dre is what I put in Google. And then I remember I was like, oh, it's not Beats by Dre though. It's Beats by Dr. Dre. So and you want to fold your cords up loosely. You don't want any sharp turns or 90-degree angles, and so it doesn't mess the wires up in there. Don't pull on them, all that stuff. Messes them up. Yeah, I got the real Beats, and eventually I'm going to give all the stuff away. If anyone cares to have it. So I was going to actually auction off my original camera. This one. This camera right here. This is the camera that started it all, guys. It's the Canon EOS Rebel SL3. The first camera that I used. It's kind of a bit heavier than my current one. This one's made mainly for like pictures, but like you can also take video on it. I used to shoot in 1080. It has 4K on here, but only in 24 frames per second. But whenever I shoot 4K on this camera, the quality is not near as good as it is on this camera right here, on this one. And this is the Canon EOS R10. It's a little bit better. This is a mirrorless camera. This is a DSLR. The mirrorless is like the newer technology, but this one takes still photos also, but it's mainly for video video. This one's mainly for still photos, but it also takes video too. But I was going to auction this away, and Sweet Tea's like, no, don't do that. You got to save it for longer. Like, okay, but I will. I'm going to auction this away, give it away to someone eventually. Whenever I make, there goes my thing. Oh, there goes that thing. I'm a mess here. Whenever I make some kind of, good case law or something that's not in the wrong way, when I retire or something, I finally did something worth. I think I've done a lot of stuff, but I finally do something really good, and I retire and I don't do this anymore. I'll give some stuff away. Maybe people will like it. Someone will want it. Doesn't give away all my stuff. The Beats headphones, like this camera right here that I'm recording on, like this mic. I'll auction off all my stuff away. I'll auction it, like raffle it away, like give it away. You know what I mean? Something. Lottery it away or something like that. Some people might like it. Okay, so let's see if we got any new comments in here. I'm talking long enough here. Oh yeah. A Pocho. Yep, I know a Pocho. Yep, that's what I am. I'm Pocho. Pocho or a coconut or whatever. Yeah, nobody speaks Spanish in our family. I mean, that's how it kind of goes, dude, with the newer generations, like my cousins and shit. None of them speak Spanish, bro. But like all my cousins are from Albuquerque, bro. And like they all have that Spanish accent. It's like, you know what I mean? So like it seems like they speak Spanish, but they don't. You know what I'm talking about. So like even when I pick up accents really easy. So when I go out to New Mexico, I come back and like I have that Spanish accent that they have out there. I pick it up real easy. And like, I think even that accent like comes out in me sometimes. Sometimes I still talk like that sometimes, you know what I mean? Because I was kind of around that a lot, but like I grew up in like white neighborhoods out here. So, but that comes out in me sometimes too still. I notice it like even on audits and stuff. Oh, you bought some beats for 200? It was a waste of money. I got my money's worth for these. I didn't buy those. Like I said, my dad did, but I got my money's worth those. I like them. time don't exist. Put my 50-year-old brain in my 20-year-old body so I can do better, like DMA says. Yeah, I mean, everything is happening all at once. Like when you're in the timeline, you only have the now, the present, right? You only have the present moment, the here and now. That's all you have. But yeah, like everything that's happening, it's like time travel. It's possible. I mean, it's definitely proven you can time travel. You can definitely at least travel into the future, right? So like if you travel close to the speed of light, or at least close to the speed of light, you know, and you travel really fast, thousands of years could pass, you know, here on Earth. And then you come back to Earth and like everyone that you ever knew was been dead for thousands of years. So that's already proven true. But as far as, you know, traveling to the past, that's a different issue. So, but yeah, everything is, you know, time and space are one. So it's just like a map. Like if there's an alien, you know, millions of light years away from you, and he's sitting still and you're sitting still, you guys are on the same timeline. But if he starts walking away from you, he could be like 100 years in the past. He could be in 1925. You know what I mean? But if he starts walking towards you, he could be 100 years in the future, right? Or vice versa. I don't know which way it works, but that's how it works. Because like literally, if I'm standing next to you, Wade, and I walk closer to you, I am literally on a different timeline than you because I'm walking closer to you. But it's so minuscule because we're so close together that you would never notice it, right? It's super minuscule. But like if you're a huge distance away, like millions of light years away, and you walk, you know, a foot that way, I mean, that could be like 10 years. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, time is relative. Oh, you remember the commercial and everything, dude? Beats by Dre? Hey, kiddo. You should go back and watch this show, Cue the Audit, at the beginning. We were talking about all the crazy stuff. Yo, what's up, Ben? Ben Dolphin. You're the only one that calls me Cordova in here. That's cool, man. I like it. You know, when I first started my DMA channel, I was like I didn't want to be doxxed, you know, because like the reason I didn't want to be doxxed is because I thought it was cool to have kind of like nobody knows your name kind of thing. Like that's some mystery to it, you know? So I didn't want to be doxxed. So I'd like, you know, if people knew my name, I would like edit it out and stuff. And like, you know, now that I got all these charges and everything, all the trolls, you know, dox me, it's like, it's too late. Now I got to just own it, you know? So like, it's fine now, but that's why I did that in the beginning. But, you know, most guys now, like there's still some guys though, like Bay Area. I don't think a lot of people know his name. I know his name because, you know, I know him and, you know, but like, I don't think a lot of people know his actual real name. It's not Jay. His name's not Jay, but people don't know him like that because, you know, a lot of trolls haven't really got to him, and trolls get to him too. But for whatever reason, the trolls just like, they love me to the max, dude. I don't even understand why. I don't think I'm like that. I don't think I'm really antagonizing and shit like that, like they say. But they love me, dude. I'm like their number one hit. Less these days, though. I don't know if you noticed. Very less these days. You know, I noticed like since the trolls stopped, actually in the last year, they stopped hitting me up for whatever reason. I'm not sure the reason why, but they did. Because when I started, most auditors have their average like percentage about 98% is about the average auditor like percentage. And that's about what mine was. And then when I got hit by those trolls constantly, dude, like every single video, I freaking, after a few days after I dropped it, I started getting all the troll comments. Like, oh, troll showcased my video. And then my average likes went down to 94%, like really low. And then now they're back up again. I don't know what they are now, but I noticed like they went back up because, you know, they're leaving me alone more now. The main troll channel, he won't post my videos, only on shorts. He won't post main videos of me anymore. Oh, you know his full name? I mean, you could look it up. I mean, he's been arrested so many times. It's all public record. I don't even know his name, like off the top of my head. He sent me his motion to dismiss on his social security case. So it had all of his name, his full name on there. I think I know what it is right now, his first name, but I'm not going to say it. It's Billy Bob. So I had first person come and look at my condo. What was it? Last week. They didn't want to buy it. They're like, no, we're not interested. They said on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best, they rated it a 2. And then the realtor said, you know, they actually liked the space. They just didn't like the location, and they didn't like the building. So I'd have to lower the price, is what my realtor said. So I have to lower the price on it because it's listed at 230 right now. And back when I had it listed prior, about 1.5 years ago, for 230, like they were going for 230. They're not going for 230 now. Like interest rates are so high now, like it's not a good time to sell. So she said that on the comps, like the last one sold here for like, I think she said like 204 or something like that. And it took 3 months to sell. So, you know, maybe you get 204 out of it. It's not like it's super updated either. Like it's got some pretty new carpet in here. You know, it's got pretty good paint, but like, you know, the appliances aren't, my fridge is actually pretty new still. Got a new fridge. I got a new toilet. I got pretty new washer and dryer, but my washer just took a shit. So that's another thing. You know, and it took a shit because Loaf pees on shit. So he pees on these pillows over here on my couch. So I'll have to throw them in there, and like, you know, they throw pillows in there and it throws the thing off and it like shakes all crazy and shit. I had to do that a whole bunch of times. I'd have to wash his dog bed all the time. And every time I wash his dog bed, I would have to wash another pillow with it to like kind of even it out. It would still shake. And then one time it was shaking, bro, and then boom, the whole agitator just like flew off the whole thing, dude. Like boom, busted, bro. And like to fix that, it's gonna cost like just the same amount for me to just buy a whole new. That's the thing with these appliances. To fix something, it costs the same amount to just buy a brand new one, dude. So my realtor said that it's not gonna make a difference, like price wise, if you sell it without a washer, you know, or with one. So I'm just not going to buy a new one. So I either just go to the laundromat or I go to my mom's. Like I went hung out with my mom. My mom's not working right now, so she got laid off. So she's gonna just do my laundry for me. She's like, "Oh, I got to do laundry tomorrow. I'll just do your laundry." So I just brought it over there. She's gonna do it for me. So, but that, yeah. So I'm probably gonna have to lower the price. I'm talking to my realtor this coming up week, talking about what we're gonna lower it to. Yeah, her name is Bat. Bat, B-A-T. I mean, also people call me. I mean, people are starting to call me Christopher or Chris now. Like, really, people are starting to call me Chris because Rocky Vendors Audits calls me Chris all the time. And I was like, I don't like Chris. Call me Christopher. And like, so she's working on it. I've noticed people calling me Chris now because I used to actually have Chris and Christopher blocked in my words that you can put on the comments. So if you would comment Chris or Christopher, it would be blocked and it wouldn't even show up. And the reason I did that is because only the trolls would say Chris or Christopher. People wouldn't say it because people didn't, you guys didn't know my name, but they did. And they would like flaunt it because they thought, it was hurting me or something. So they would come and purposely say my name in the comments. So I had to block. But now that everyone knows my name, I took that away. So, but people still, they just call me DMA and like, DMA is just something that I didn't give myself that name. People just started calling me that. And I think I'm probably known as DMA more than anything else. It's just kind of, I guess it's catchy or something. But I remember the first time because when I very first started, I wasn't really hip to like acronyms and stuff like that. And I was like, people were calling me DMA, and I was like, what the fuck's DMA, dude? I was like, oh, Denver Metro Audits. Oh, okay. That's what that is. And then I started realizing acronyms, and I see, other people's acronyms and stuff. Because, when I first started, I wasn't really that much into auditing, I didn't know all the shit about everything. But yeah, that name kind of just came organically. No, dude, I can't guess your name, bro. What is it? What's your name? I don't care if some people know your name. I don't even know your name. I'm sure you probably told me before, but yeah, I think your name's Ben Doffin, right? That's your actual name, isn't it? Because you're telling me how to pronounce it and everything. It's like dolphin, but without the L. Ben Doffin. Oh, so we're gonna be doing a show. We're going to be doing, I got to work on that now soon too. But my next project is actually going to be finishing that jail video. I got to get that one going. But we're going to be doing in the meantime, I might do a DMA and Adam Kokesh panel. We're just going to sit up here and we're going to go through his old videos and kind of react to them. That'll be fun. And then we're going to do a part 2 of the Rogue Nation Adam Kokesh debate. I think that'll be good too. Oh, see, I told you, man. Oh, it's not 11:11. Was it 11:11 when you put that in? It's not 11:11 right now. I got the real time right here. Oh yeah, 11:12. Yeah, it was. You must have your alarm set for that, bro. There's no way you catch those every time. So yeah, this is my Easter shirt. It's kind of Eastery. I was thinking orange. I had Minnie today. I was gonna put her in her dress, but then I was running late. She has like a Easter dress, but I put her hairdo. Minnie, I don't know where she is. I think she's outside. Man, show you guys her hairdo. She got Easter hairdo. Oh yeah. Synchronation. I should know this. You should know this, man. Can you hear that? I was talking today to my mom and my stepdad, and I was talking about how, like, I don't know how it got brought up, but I was saying how, you know, that if all the men vanished off the face of the planet, that, you know, women, they'd go extinct within, you know, a few months. I mean, not probably wouldn't go extinct. I mean, but most of them would die off. And he was like, "Oh no," and he's like, "Oh, women will last longer than men would because men always want to dominate over other men, and that's why, you know, the wars and all this stuff." And you know, that's true. But I was trying to explain to him, like, okay, everything is maintained by men, everything, right? So, like, if all the men just vanished off the face of the planet, the water would be off and electricity would be off, and within like 24 hours, it'd be gone, no more. If all the women knocked off the face of the planet, water and electricity would still be going. And he was like, "Well, you don't think that any women could, you know, figure it out?" And I was like, "Yeah, they probably could. Of course they could. I'm saying they're not capable of it. It's just they're not capable of it right now." That's the thing. Like, they have to have men teach them how to do it. And that's true. I mean, they would. I'm not saying that they couldn't figure it out. They could, but like it's not going to be right away. And with men, it would, at least you'd still have it, you know. And then we're talking, and you know, he's trying to defend women and all that, and you know, that's fine, defend women. And like, I'm not saying that men are better than women, but this is a fact. We're just talking about it. And I was like, "All right, Mom, let me tell you something," because, you know, she was trying to, you know, defend too. And I was like, "Mom, okay, here's the thing. If it was like Mad Max situation, okay, like a famine, like, you know, or back to the Stone Age, okay, and you had a choice, Mom, to go with your brothers and Mo, my stepdad, okay, or this group of women over here to survive, who are you gonna go with?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I would. I'd go with Mo and my brothers." I'm like, "Yeah, you're not gonna go with like the women, dude. Like, you know, come on." So that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was like that, like caveman days again, you know, the women aren't gonna be able to survive as easily. The men are. The men are gonna be able to build a shelter. I even said to my dad, like, "Mo, like, you could build a house from scratch, dude. I know you could. He could build a house by himself if he had to." Like, not saying that women aren't capable of it, but just they don't know how to do it right now. They'd have to just learn on their own. It's going to be harder. So anyway, that was a little conversation we had today. And then I was like, "Oh, well, you know, women they're not as ambitious as men." And then he was like, "Oh," he thought that was hilarious. But like, you know, people think that I'm being chauvinistic when I say stuff like that, but you know, I'm not. It's just, if you look at the facts, dude, like, you know, the fact that men make more money than women, and it's true, they do make more money, but it's not because like companies just want to pay them less. One of the reasons is because statistically, women are less likely to work overtime than men. They are. Men are the ones, "Oh, I'll take that extra shift," right? That's another reason why men are CEOs. And there's some women CEOs, not for all, but you know, there's way more men CEOs than women. There's way more men doctors than women. But guess what? There's more in the medical field than men. There's more nurses than there are men, right? So, to be a nurse, you go to school for, I think it's, if you're RN, I think it's like 2 years. So to be a doctor, it's like, I don't know, it's like 8 years, and then it's like a 4-year internship and all that. To me, that correlates to ambition, right? Right. And, like, sounds like we are superior. Ha. Like, I don't want it to seem like, that's what I'm trying to say, because there's things that women are way better at men, they're way better at men than a lot of things, dude. But like, men aren't trying to be like, do all the things that women do. It's like this new thing that women are trying to do all the things that men can do. And I don't need no man, and men ain't shit type of attitude. That's all these women have, But I mean, if you think about it, literally, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you think about superiority, yeah, I would say they are. I mean, technically, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're more competent, right? And competency is like the ability to, I think it's like the ability to solve problems. Look up people might think I'm being sexist there too. Let's look up the definition of competency. I'll click here. Let's see. Let's see what this is. I don't know. Let's see what the definition. Definition of competent. Oh, well, my image is here. Having the necessary ability, knowledge, or skill to do something successfully. Efficient and capable. So yeah, men are more competent than women, but it doesn't mean that like they're better than them. I guess technically you could say that they're better than them, but I don't consider myself better. I'm just better at certain things. Like, women are way better at other things. Like, mom was like, oh, well, the reason, because I was like, Mom, women, they can't just build a house. You know what I mean? Like, if those Mad Max days, they can't just build a house or build shelter. And it's like, yeah, it's because, they weren't brought up to do those types of things. That's why. And I was like, yeah, that's true, Mom. But like, you could say the same thing about men. Well, men aren't really that good at, doing nails. Well, it's because they weren't brought up to do those things. Right? I'm not saying that like men can't do nails. It's just they weren't brought up to do them, so they don't do them. Same thing with women. They're not brought up to, change a tire or, to like change oil, because that's what's their thing. Doesn't mean that they can't change oil. They just weren't brought up to do it. Well, yeah, that's true. They weren't brought up to do it, but it doesn't mean that they can't do it. It's just they choose not to do it, though. That's the thing. They choose not to. Just like men choose not to like really give a shit about learning how to do nails and, shit that women do. Like, we don't care about that. Just like women don't care about changing their oil. Yeah, exactly. Hunters and gatherers. So, like the gatherers. So like in caveman days, you have to have a woman to keep the species going, right? But in caveman days, you got the gatherers, they get the berries and, they do all that kind of stuff, take care of the kids, and the men go hunt, the kill or whatever. So could the men survive without the gatherers? I think they probably could. Could the women survive without the hunters? I don't think so. Right? It's like men today. Like, could men survive without women? I think they could, yeah. Like when my mom, she left my stepdad for a while, for like a few months, and she went back to the house and like You know, the house wasn't like a complete nightmare, but it wasn't clean. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't as clean as like she would have had it. So yeah, I mean, like it's not how maybe the house won't be as clean. Like, you know, maybe they're not cooking good meals. I mean, a lot of men do cook these days, but you know, but like, you know, a man can do his own laundry. You know what I mean? It's not like he can't do it. You know what I mean? But like, and women can fix stuff around the house too. I mean, dude, Sweet Tea's like badass at fixing stuff around the house. Better than me, dude. So I'm saying that's not for all women. I'm just saying, but like typically, dude, like most women, like they don't care about that stuff. They don't know how to do it. They don't care to learn. You know what I mean? That's a difference. But like a man could still clean the house though, right? He can still do the laundry, you know. Yeah, but I see what you're saying too, though, dude. It's just that if you can think for yourself, that's great. But you know, even as a woman who's thinking for themselves, if they don't have these skills necessary to survive in like a Mad Max type of scenario, it's going to be more difficult for them. And then like my dad was like, oh, well, you know, women could survive, they'd survive. And, you know, there's no evidence, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, there's not really no evidence because we don't have like a real Mad Max situation. You know what I mean? So there's no evidence, but the evidence that I did have that I told him was like that show Survivor, where they put all the men on an island and all the women on an island. And the women gave up in like 3 hours, dude. Like they gave up. They couldn't handle it. That was it. It was the end of the show. They couldn't handle it, dude. Like the men, they created a hierarchy. Everyone had their task. They were cooking their dinner. They were, you know, having a good time. They were laughing and shit. Like it was fine. I'm not saying like, oh, dude, like if no women were here, it would be, you know, hunky dory, dude. It would suck. Life would suck without women, dude. I love women. I love feminine energy. I actually prefer feminine energy over male energy. I do. But I mean, that's just kind of, you know, my opinion on it. I don't know if they'd go extinct, you know what I mean? But they definitely, a lot of them, more of them would die than men would. But there'd be a lot of battles too, you know, between men. A lot of men would kill each other and stuff like that. And, you know, same with women though too. They'd probably kill each other too if it was that bad, you know. But like I always try to prepare for that. Like Sweet Tea, she always prepares for that stuff the best she can. Like she taught me some stuff. Like I always save my lint now from the dryer because it makes a great fire starter. And my cousin and her husband, my cousin-in-law, they are preppers, dude. They have like literally thousands and thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars worth of food in their garage on pallets, canned goods. They have like 500 pounds of like beans, 500 pounds of rice, you know, because that shit doesn't go bad. They got tons of like bottles of like hot sauce and like, you know, it's like a whole fucking like a little mini grocery store in their garage, bro. Like just tons. They put a gate up on their property. It's like a 15-foot gate, bro. And then it opens electronically. It opens and they go out, but then it closes. It's like a big ass gate, keep people out and shit. Like, dude, and then, of course they got tons of guns. Like, if that shit happens, bro, like they'll survive. You know what I mean? Like, people can't just come in and like rob their shit, bro. They got cameras everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna survive. They have a man there that like knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Type of shit. So that shit's important. You know, not all women though. Like I said, like, you know, Sweet Tea, she survived too. I mean, she's great at, you know, fixing shit, and she can handle herself. You know, that type of situation happened now. I mean, physically, could she go out there and like hunt and shit like that? I don't know. I don't know though if she could though. You know what I mean? Right now. So that would be another issue though. You know, she only has so much food right now. She'd have to eventually go out there and start hunting shit. So that's the thing. You know, I don't know how to hunt, dude. I never hunted, you know, but like, you know, I can't even have guns. So, but I would definitely, if that happened to me, if that happened, I would go to my stepdad's house. I mean, I'd go live with my parents. He has, and I told Sweet Tea, I was like, you know, if that happens, like, I'm taking you to my mom's house. That's where we're going. Because my dad has, you know, I think he's got like 6 or 7 AR-15s. I mean, he's got so much guns and ammo and shit. So, I mean, we'd be okay for a while. But, you know, we have to go out and hunt shit, dude. Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, no gender would survive longer than that one generation. That's true. I'm just saying, I think, like, what I'm saying is if all women, this wouldn't happen, but all women, obviously, like, say all the women are so holy and they got brought up on the rapture, right? And they all went to heaven, all the men are the evil ones. We had to stay here. Like, electricity and water would still be going, right? Like, we could still keep building the roads. Like, women could do that stuff too, but like, they don't know how to do it though. They'd have to figure it out. That's the thing, right? Like, how many women are working at these electrical plants? There might be some, but like, you know, it's probably like 90% or 90, maybe even more, 99% men that are running that shit. So it'd be one woman, you know, trying to teach all these other women how to keep the shit going. It's going to go off for a while. They're not going to have electricity for a while, but men, it would stay going. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. We could still build the roads, all that shit. Like, we could still build new buildings, infrastructure. Like, dude, there would be, if it was just women. I worked in construction, dude. Like, I worked at a company, it was like 300 electricians. There was like 3 women. It was like 1%. So if it went down to like 1% of the women, they're not building no fucking buildings, bro. You know what I mean? Like, there's no more new buildings going up. They'd have to like start from scratch and like teach all these women how to do shit from the very small amount of women knew how to do it. It's not going to be just like we can just keep going. You know, it's going to be a huge fucking stall out. And the stuff that women excel at, is it necessary for survival? Like, the stuff that women excel at, you know, like I said, doing nails and shit, like it's a non-issue, bro. Stuff that women excel at, like social workers, teachers, it's not necessary for survival. What else? What name something in here that women excel at that like men couldn't do without? Because I'd like to know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. That we just be fucked without. Like, oh fuck, dude, no one knows how to do that. What are we gonna do? I gotta go get some blaster oil. You know, WD-40 is like the worst to use. That's true, but we'd be fucked without all the nagging. God damn it. That's true, man. We'd be goners without that nagging, bud. That is true though, dude. Women do nag. You know what I mean? They're pretty good naggers. But anyways, I gotta get some blaster oil for my chair squeaking, dude. And I had some blaster oil, but I don't think I threw it away because I couldn't find it, because I had it in my bag, my tool bag. And then what happened was like a drill or something like hit it, dude. And it like sprayed, it like hit it on and it sprayed the whole fucking can all over the fucking place, dude. It was a fucking nightmare. And I was pissed, dude. My truck smelled like fucking blaster oil forever, bro. I think I got pissed and I threw that shit away. Maybe that's what happened. It was empty or something, but so I don't have any now. So I gotta go buy some now for this thing. Blowjobs. Yeah, but I don't think that's, we wouldn't be able to. I mean, even that, men are capable of doing, though. See what I'm saying? But that's not something that we like have to survive, though. Let's see, trying to think, like, what do women do that we just couldn't, that men can't do, that we just be like fucked without? I'm trying to think if there's something. So one of the shows that I'm going to do later on my list of shows I want to do is for like women that act emotionally, because they're more emotional. And one of the things that made me want to do that show, I was telling my mom this today, about how women are emotional. And she agreed. She's like, you're right. Women are more emotional and men are more logical. And it's true. It's a fact. Was this woman who was riding a motorcycle, and I could see on her speedometer, she's going about 35, and she dumped her bike. And she didn't just dump it like somebody like kind of hit her or something, and she fell and hit. She dumped it, laid it down. And yeah, even going 35, I mean, I can understand, like, that probably hurt and everything else. You can go on 35. It's not a good thing. But she was freaking the fuck out. Oh my God. Like, you would think that like something crazy, like her arm got chopped off or something, dude. And like what happened was, how like children or like toddlers, when they get hurt and then they'll start crying and then they'll realize that they're not actually really that hurt. Right. But then all of a sudden they'll just keep crying though, because like they think they need to, because they know if they're hurt or whatever. That's what it reminded me of, because there was a moment where she like realized, she took a second, she realized like, okay, she's okay. She's actually fine. She's not like, just have a broken arm or anything like that. But then after she realized and took that pause, she like continued to like freak out because that's, women act on emotion, dude. That's the reason. So that's what made me want to make that show. I'm like, oh man, like if a guy dumped his bike going 35 and like he wasn't really hurt, he might be like, oh man, fuck, dude, fuck. You might freak out for a minute, but like he's not going to act like she was. You're like, it's crazy. I'll play the video when I do the show. She was freaking out, dude. Men bitch just as much as women? I don't think so. They bitch, yeah, for sure. I don't think just as much as women, though. I don't think so. Women typically have a better appeal to a man's instantaneous reaction. Men are generally in the moment, and we ride it to the end. Well, women are more intuitive than men. They're more like nurturing and, the feminine energy. Women are good at cunning and ruthless shit in a good way, like CIA and FBI handlers. Like the thing that like comes to my mind when I think like what a woman's better at is they're more flexible. And like I said before, I think that they're better at gymnastics. Certain gymnastics they're better at. But like they're better at the mothering, like the feminine stuff, like raising kids, but like raising kids in the way that a mom needs to raise the kids, though. Like they're better at, being that feminine energy, like when the kid needs, a hug and he needs, nurturing and stuff like that, and children need that. Men aren't as good as that, dude. Men are like hide their emotions, be tough it all, shake it off, type of thing. So they're better at that. But I don't even say that they're better at raising children, though, because like, the statistics, they don't lie. I mean, single moms tend to raise children that become juvenile delinquents at a higher rate than single dads do. It's because they don't have that masculine energy, right? So like, just like even children, like toddlers and shit, dude, and like kindergartners, when they start throwing tantrums and shit, the mom says, hey, knock it off. And, they don't listen to them. And then dad's, hey, knock it off. And then all of a sudden, okay. And, you've seen those videos. I've seen those videos. That's why, because the kids, with the feminine energy, they just walk all over their mom, dude. Like, I'm not going to listen to you. With that masculine, lay the law down, dude. And, keeps the kids in line. Because, kids are scared of their fathers. They're not scared of their moms. But moms are better at, like a man could raise a child on his own, but like, moms are better at certain things. Like, mom might be better at doing the daughter's hairdo and shit, teaching her how to do stuff like that, So it's like, moms, especially with women or with girls, they're better at raising a girl, so they can teach a woman how to be a woman. But like all this like gay marriage stuff, and we got two women, they're lesbians, and they should be able to adopt a child and raise a child. Well, is that child going to be at any disadvantage though? Like, can two women teach a boy how to be a man? I mean, think about it. Can two women teach a boy how to be a man? I don't think so. I mean, how could they? I mean, could two men teach a woman how to, a girl how to be a daughter? Or I mean, sorry, could two men teach a girl how to be a woman? No. That's why you need the man and the woman. And just like I said, like if a man if he's a single dad, he raises his children, they're less likely to be a juvenile delinquent. That's true, but it doesn't mean that it's the best option. It's still better to have the woman there, right? For the son and the daughter, especially for the daughter though, right? Because a man can't teach a girl how to be a good woman. How could he? Right? So that's what I think too, I'm all for like, you want to be gay, you're gay, Like I said, my aunt's gay, I've had gay friends before. As long as you're not hurting me, I don't care what you do. But like, the whole non-aggression principle means that you're not initiating force on other people. So like, if you are putting other people at a disadvantage, well, then that's where, it's not right, I don't think. And I don't think that, two women raising a boy are going to be able to teach that boy how to be a man. Don't. And that's why you see, women, that do that, like, like single moms that have, raising their son, can't teach them how to be a good man. So that's why they end up being juvenile delinquents and shit. Oh yeah. That's true, man. Yeah. They know when it's time to shape up, bro. I mean, like I remember the very first time that my mom, because my mom raised me, my dad was pretty much out of the picture when I was like 12. And then I had my stepdad pretty shortly after that. But I don't think we lived with my stepdad till I was like 15 or something like that. And I remember the first time that my mom realized that she couldn't, overpower me physically. I was 14. And, I'm a late bloomer, dude. I didn't hit puberty till I was 14. And I was always small. I was the smallest in my whole class every year. And so my mom was always bigger than me. And my mom's small. My mom's always stronger than me, everything. And I was 14 and we were in the grocery store and I said something smart or something like that. My mom used to get kind of physical with me, dude. She tried to hit me or something like that. And like I blocked her hit. And she got all offended. She's like, "Don't block my hit." I remember she said that. She's like, "Don't block my hit." And she tried to like hit me more and I was blocking her hit too. It's like, no, I'm not going to just let you hit me, dude. And I still don't think that even like, being physical with your children is the right thing to do. Maybe there's a certain time for it, but I still believe in the non-aggression principle, even with raising your children. There's other things you can do, unless your kid's just completely out of control, right? But so maybe that's one that I might do for the Adam Kokesh show, because Adam Kokesh kind of taught me that stuff. Is Adam is hitting children. Write this stuff down. So, but I remember she was all pissed, she was all offended, dude, and she's like, just all butthurt that she couldn't beat me up anymore. And my mom didn't like beat me up or anything, you know what I mean? But like, she'd get physical with me sometimes, and I couldn't do nothing because I was little. But then I was 14. That was when she realized, like, I'm stronger than you now. So I remember that. This was in Cub Foods. You guys ever heard of Cub Foods? You guys ever have Cub Foods where you are? There's a grocery store we used to have out here. A lot of times the shit that I did and said, I deserved it, but I was this little smart ass punk kid, dude. Yeah. Many. She's over there laying down. They're sleeping. She don't want to come. Loaf's got his diaper on now. So he's got his diaper on now. He's all hurt. I tried it so I had his diaper on him a couple days ago, the whole day. And I felt bad. And then yesterday I was like, I was working on the computer all day. And I just left the diaper off of him. I was like, I felt bad on him because he hates it, dude. It's like a punishment for him, right? He can't stand it. So I left it off and I was keeping an eye on him and shit. And, I can't keep an eye on him constantly. I'm over here working. I'm not paying attention. And then this morning, I go and I look on my fucking table here on the legs. The legs are white. So I can see the pee easily. It's like yellow pee on there. And sure enough, there's fucking yellow pee on there. And I'm like, fuck, dude, he's pissing when I'm not fucking looking, dude. Because I caught him the other day pissing. Because I always think he used to do it in the middle of the night. But then I caught him like sniffing, like he was going to pee on it. I was looking. And like I saw him ready to lift his leg. I was like, "Hey, Loaf, no." And like he knew right away he was in trouble. And he came right over, ran up to me, like jumped on me to like say he was sorry and shit. Like he knows he's not supposed to do it. Because he doesn't do it in front of me, only when I'm not looking and shit. And so I was like, fuck, dude, I gotta fucking put the diaper on you again then, dude. Like, I can't just leave you without the diaper, bro. If he hates it, dude, it's like sucks, dude. Like he thinks it's a punishment. I don't know if he knows, if he understands. I think maybe he does, but it's like he can't help it. It's like an urge. He has to mark shit. But like, it's been going on for 6 years now. Like, what else do I do? So I'm gonna have to just he's got his diaper on now, and like he's gonna have to just learn to live with it, bro. He gets all sad and depressed, and then he'll still sometimes run outside with his diaper on and bark at people. But like last night I put the diaper on him, and then usually I put the diaper on him, I go and carry him into the bed. He's all sad and he'll be fine. But last night I just put the diaper on him and I just left him on the couch, and then he just like slept on the couch the whole night. I think he did it on purpose to like, to protest me that he was mad that I put the diaper on him or whatever. I'm like, okay, because I'm gonna put the diaper on him again tonight. I'm just leave him on the couch. Like if he's capable of walking around with the diaper on. Like if he wants to come to the bed, you can come to the bed, bro. So I'm gonna see what he does. I usually just carry him into the bed, you know, because I want him to sleep in there with me, but I don't think I'm gonna just leave him out here and see what he does. How many nights in a row he'll sleep out here on the couch to protest me. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to do, dude. I've tried everything, so. Right. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I think there's maybe certain times when hitting your kids would be necessary, like in that situation, you know? Maybe if you think you could handle it a different way, it would have been better and great. But, you know, like using like, you know, spanking with the belt or spanking as punishment, I just think that there's better ways to do it. Like my mom never spanked my sister. We used to put her in, or not we, but like, you know, I was already 10 when she was born, but like, used to put her in timeout. Like she'd have to sit the step. It's called sit the step. And so she'd have to go sit on the step. And she's like, as soon as you're ready, you can come back. And my sister like was stubborn, like, cause I used to do the same thing. I remember I wasn't sit the step though. I was like sit in the corner or something like that. And like, as soon as I was ready to change my attitude, then I can come out and I would sit there for a while. And then I would eventually come back and rejoin the group and it'd be fine. My sister would protest, dude. She was stubborn. And she would just sit there and she'd throw a tantrum. She'd fling all over the place and scream. She would just, out of stubbornness, just sit there forever, bro, like hours, bro. And finally, my mom would have to come and be like, okay, are you ready to come back? Right. And then she would come back. You know, she was like 2, she was a toddler. She finally come back, dude. But yeah, she was stubborn as shit. But yeah, there's other ways, you know, but like it just depends. Like sometimes these kids, dude, they're like crazy badass kids, dude. You know, like these ones with like super bad ADD and they're just, you know, like super freaking, they're violent themselves and like crazy kids, you know. I don't know how to deal with that shit. Thank God I don't have kids like that. I don't have any kids. Oh yeah, dude, that wasn't a Rottweiler. That was Biggs. That was my sister's dog, and that was he's actually I can't remember the name of the dog, mixed with the Doberman. That's what he is. Yeah, he was bossing up. Like I said, Loaf's the boss, dude. And you see Biggs, he was all like sad, like Loaf was bossing up on him. You know why he was doing that? Because he was trying to own my mom. Like Biggs was trying to get like have my mom pet him and shit. He didn't like that. And so like he was like barking at, you know, and putting his hand on him and shit, barking at Biggs. He does that, dude. And Minnie does it too. Like with Sweet Tea, like they own Sweet Tea. Like they think they do. And so like when her cat's Baby and shit tries to come up and like cuddle her, like they get all jealous, dude. Like Minnie and like Baby like go at it, bro, like fight and shit. Because like me don't like it and Baby don't like it either, dude, because you know he's been there, he's old already, and he's been there for like over a decade with her. So like, you know, he's got these new dogs coming in here trying to take her attention. He doesn't like it, but Minnie doesn't like it either, so they fight. And then Loaf and Baby will fight sometimes over her and shit. So, but they don't fight over me. Like I've had Baby likes to come sit on my lap too, and I'll pet him. And when that happens, like Loaf will come and like try to intervene, but he doesn't like get buck though. Like with me, he doesn't get buck and like try to like fight Baby though. He only does that with Sweet Tea. And Minnie, same thing. Minnie doesn't do that. But because like Sweet Tea, she sleeps downstairs on the recliner. And so like they'll go down there and sleep with her. Like sometimes they'll sleep with me and then they'll go down there and sleep with her at the end of the night. And so they're already like laying on her lap and shit. And then that's when Baby will come in and try to jump on her lap. And then since they were already there, you know, then Minnie gets all jealous and shit because like she was already there. So they fight and shit. Thanks for watching that video though, dude. That's a short that I just put up. All right, peace, dog. Thanks for coming in, man. Like I said, I'm going to mail those out. Text me or email me again the address. I'll mail those out tomorrow for you. Oh, you text me? Okay. You texted me. Oh, yeah, I got it. I did get it. So you can just hit me up your address on the text. It's easier. Yeah, but dogs get possessive, especially these ones. They get possessive and shit. Like when I go over to my mom's house and I try to like pet the new dogs, my mom's dogs, Tilly and Oxley, like Loaf gets all jealous, dude. Tries to come up right on my lap and shit. He didn't like it. But dude, I remember even recently, dude, Sweetie's like, Loaf's a very masculine dog. She said that. He's a very masculine dog. He is. He's a very masculine dog, dude. He has like no fear, bro. Like I said, he attacked a pit bull once. Attacked him, bro. And then he ran off a Saint Bernard, like ran him off, dude, and like was barking at him, yelling. Saint Bernard took off at the dog park, just took off running, dude, all scared of him and shit. You know, like they say, it's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the bark in the dog, or however it goes. But like, you know, he can back his shit up, but like, you know, he's not just all bark. Like he'll get down and he'll get rowdy with it, but at the same time, you know, if he tries to get rowdy with a pit bull that ain't messing around, dude, like he's dead, bro. He's dead. All right, got your address, bro. Thanks. So it scares me. Like, dude, one time recently, actually, like a month ago or something, a couple months, we're at the dog park and I don't keep my dogs on a leash because usually we're the only ones there. And there was some other dog and I didn't have my glasses on. I couldn't see what kind of dog it was. And they were coming up and I thought it was like a pit bull. And I'm not against pit bulls, but like, you know, they can be, if they're not raised right, they can be vicious, bro. You know, my uncle's had a bunch of pit bulls. So it just depends. But I've also known pit bulls that are like super freaking beta ass dogs. It just depends. And I didn't know this dog, and Loaf's running after him. You know, Loaf, he don't listen to me, dude. So I, Loaf, get over here, Loaf. And when he sees another dog, he's gonna take off. So I had to fucking run full speed, bro. I'm running, Loaf. And then like, I just was trying to protect my dog, dude. And like, we got like close to him, and finally he stopped. And like, I did this slide, and I like slid like 10 feet on the grass, dude. And I slid and I swooped him up at the same time and like got up. And I looked and I picked his dog up too, because I was freaking out, you know, because I didn't know what kind of dog he was. And then I was like, sorry. And he's like, oh, you're good. I just walked away. I was like, that's it, we're leaving. But that dog probably wouldn't have done shit. But I was like, oh, shoot. It was funny because I was like, oh, cool, man. So like, you know, even though I'm old, I still got it if I have to. It was a very athletic move, dude. I like ran, like slid, dude, and swooped him up and like grabbed him and picked him up and shit. I was like, oh, I still got it. I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. So I think, I don't know, maybe next year I'll try to play baseball again. 35 and up league. I still got to get some more use out of that glove. I'm still young enough to play. I can still play. That's the only sport I could play, though. I try to play flag football, but like I just get hurt so easy. I pull muscles, pull my groin, get hurt too easy doing that. All that fast juking and shit, dude. Can't do that shit no more. Can't do it. But baseball I can do. You know, you're just running in a straight line. You know, I'm juking and shit. When you're trying to run routes and shit, dude, and like fucking pulling shit all the time. Can't do that. But baseball I can do. Baseball is a sport you can play when you're old. Like football, basketball, same thing. Too many cuts and shit, and moving this way to this way, and like hurting yourself and shit. Dude, I'll hurt myself. Like sometimes I'll like pull a muscle because I like to like warm up for my workouts. I used to warm up by playing basketball, just shooting hoops and getting my own rebounds and shit. That was my cardio because I had to warm up I had to get my body temperature high before my workouts because I was getting older in my 30s. But then it got to the point now in my 40s where like I have to warm up before the warm up, bro. Like even just basketball alone, I could pull a muscle, bro. Like, just like, slight jump or something like that, pull a calf muscle or something, like pull something, bro. So now I have to go on the spin bike for at least 10 minutes, usually about 15 minutes till I'm like dripping sweat. And then now I can do the basketball or I'm a little bit warmed up. And even then I got to take it easy, bro, until I really start getting going. And then I do a little bit of stretching. You know what I mean? Nowadays, you're not supposed to stretch before. You're supposed to do like dynamic stretching. But like I'm so tight, I got to just do static stretching. And I'll stretch. It takes me forever. And then finally, once I get going, dude, and loose, you know what I mean? Then I can do some stuff. You know what I mean? I can drive to the hoop. I can jump and like do some shit. But like, yeah, the warm up is like way more intense now. But like, yeah, if I were to do it like a pickup game, dude, no, forget it, bro. I have to, I'm like, hold on, guys. I got to 10 minutes on the spin bike first. And then I got to still, dribble around and move around. Like, no, forget it, dude. I can just go play. Like I'm 20, bro. Just go jump in there. So. And I was going to hit chest today and the rec center's closed because it's Easter. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know if like 24-hour fitness is closed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like government places should be closed unless everyone else is closed. Like, I remember one time I went to the rec center and it was like 3 inches of snow and like closed for weather. I was like, dude, what? I was like, dude, 3 inches of snow in Colorado. It's like nothing, dude. I was like, they're just using that as an excuse, because like, the thing is about rec centers is, very few of their bills, very few of their overhead is paid for by memberships. They get tons of government subsidies, right? But like 24-hour fitness doesn't have that. Like if they, just close for 3 inches of snow, they go out of business, right? They got to stay open. So I feel like because the money is taken from us by force and I'm paying a membership also, like you should just fucking stay your ass open, dude. You know what I mean? If like, yeah, of course, if it's, 2 feet of snow, then yeah, you got to close. That's fine. I'm not gonna be mad about that. But like, if 24-hour fitness isn't closed over 3 inches of snow, you should just stay your ass open too. And I use that as an excuse because, we got plenty of tax dollars coming in. It's fine. You know what I mean? That's the problem with government. So anyway, I was like, oh, okay, I'll use an excuse. I'll just do, whenever that kind of shit happens. And I'm like, okay, that's push-up day now. So I did a bunch of push-ups. And it's good because like you should really incorporate not just heavy lifting, like you should incorporate, light lifting, like push-ups and stuff too, because muscle memory, like a lot of times when this happens, when I like tomorrow, my chest will be sore as fuck because I haven't done push-ups in like several months. I've just been doing like bench. And I also, for chest, I do bench and I do, what's it called? Flies, but I do them with the cables. I don't do them with weights because when you do flies with dumbbells, when you get up here and you get up to the top, there's no resistance. Like with cables, there's constant resistance. That's what you want, constant resistance. I actually already feel my chest kind of sore doing that. It is sore already. But like, it's a muscle confusion. So you do something different, push-ups. I'll be sore as fuck tomorrow. So it's good to incorporate different stuff. You should be doing everything. You should be doing heavy weights. You should be doing light weights and high reps, all that shit. Switch it up all the time. Just do the same thing every time. So yeah, that's what I did today. Did a bunch of push-ups. And then I figured out how to do a different kind. Like you do these push-ups like this. Like I have the push-up bars. I'll put them in like this. Normally I do them like this, but then you do them like this too, and it works your back better. And you do the wide ones, works your chest better. And then you do like the ones in here like this, the military ones, works your triceps better. Do all the different kinds. And I just do push-ups. Like it's cool because I'm like, oh cool, so I can like work out. You know, I do some quick cardio, get the blood pumping, you know, just jumping jacks and shit like that. And then I'm like, I'll clean something. I'll start cleaning because I clean house today too. And then while I'm cleaning that, and then I'll go jump and I'll do push-ups to failure. Then I'll go and clean something else. Then I'll come back and do more push-ups so I can kind of kill two birds with one stone. That's what I was doing. Save time. And I was still late. And then I had to give the dogs a bath because they were smelly. And yesterday I woke up and I was trying to get my YouTube video ready because I was going to drop it that day. So I had the thumbnail up. I made the thumbnail and I put the video up and I couldn't do an end screen. I was like, why can't I do an end screen? It was like, oh, format not supported. And I looked at it and I was all fucked up. Like there was a bunch of black outline outside of the video and shit. I was like, oh, it was all fucked up. And so I went back to my project and it was like, it wasn't 1920 by 1080. It was like 1920 by like 8 something. It was all fucked up. And I was like, fuck, and I couldn't figure out, I could change the sequence settings, but like it said, if you do this, you'll lose whatever, all the clips. And I didn't want to fuck it up. So I called like Premiere Pro, like Adobe customer support. And like, they have this thing where they can walk you through stuff, but like only through texting, like through the app on weekends, not like, oh, can somebody just call me? And they're like, oh, we can't call you on weekends, only through this on weekends. I'm like, how much sense does that make, dude? Like, what's the difference? You're already here to help me, but now I have to sit here and type everything that I'm trying to tell you. You know what I mean? Instead of just talking to you on the phone, like way faster. Like, what's the difference, dude? You're already here to help me, bro. Why does Adobe have that as their policy, dude? It's so stupid. So anyways, got it figured out. But then I had to re-edit the video and then fix all that shit. So anyways, I didn't even do Minnie's hair or nothing. And like, she has really runny eyes. So you have to like, you know, all the watery eyes gets on her hair and her face and shit. And then like gets all sticky and stuck together. And so it was so bad because I didn't do anything with her hair yesterday that I was like, oh, I just got to give you another bath. So I gave her another shower. I take showers with my dogs. We take showers. I take my shower and then I come out here and grab them when I'm done with mine. And I take them in there and bathe them in the shower with me. It's easier. It's faster. I think it's faster. Dang, the chat's like fucking no one's saying shit in here. Hope this thing's not broken. I think I'm going to probably take an Ambien or something so I can get ready for bed. Oh, it's already midnight. Yeah, let me go take my Ambien. Okay, hold on. I'm going to play something for you guys so I can take my Ambien real quick. Go into pass out status. I'm back already. Oh, here it is. I dropped it. I was so dehydrated yesterday. I sat on this computer like all day. I didn't eat. or drink like anything. I finally ate like a frozen pizza at the end of the day, and I hardly even ate anything. I hardly drink any water. And so like this morning, I knew I was dehydrated as fuck. And I drank so much, dude. I was so thirsty. I drank some water, and then I started my workout, and I was like super thirsty after I started my workout. So I drank like 4 glasses of Gatorade. I have like this powdered Gatorade. And I drank like 4 glasses of it, like a lot, because I kept getting thirsty. And I was like, fuck, I'm so dehydrated. And then I drank a full protein shake. Well, I drank a protein shake before for my pre-workout, because my pre-workout shake has like probably like 800-900 calories in it. And then I drank the 4 glasses of Gatorade, and then I drank my protein shake afterwards, like 20 ounces of water. And then I drank like some water before I left. And then like I didn't have to pee at all. I was like, holy shit, dude. And I went to the restaurant. I finally peed like a little bit. It was like not even that much. And I was like, damn, that's how dehydrated I was. And then finally I peed when I got back to my mom's house. I was like, holy shit, dude. So dehydrated today. Didn't drink hardly any water. And finally someone commented. Oh, really? Yeah, some people, it affects people like crazy, like, do the sleepwalking thing, right? And some people have known like they do all kinds of crazy shit, like commit crimes and shit when they're on Ambien. I don't do that sleepwalking stuff, but like it does do like certain stuff. Like sometimes it makes people eat a lot, and like I actually think food tastes worse on Ambien, but like I do like Ambien. It like relaxes you. And the thing I like about Ambien for sleep aid is like it makes me go to sleep, and then I sleep through the night, and then I wake up refreshed, because they're like trying to put me on all this other shit, like I have all these antidepressants and shit that they can give you to make you sleepy. And I'm like, yeah, it makes me sleepy, but then like the whole next day I'm sleepy too. Like the first time I took that shit years ago, I was like, I took it and it knocked me out. And the whole fucking next day, like all I could think about was going to sleep at work, bro. And then finally, by the time I got off work, and then I was like finally over it. I was like, dude, that was a nightmare. Now I'm finally not tired when I got off work. Seriously, I was like fighting, like passing out right there in the fucking corner in the concrete, bro, like for the whole day. I was like, I'll never take that shit again. And I told him, because that's like one of the main side effects. They call it like a sleep hangover or whatever. Or you're just like tired forever, dude, the next day. And I was like, I'd rather, like, I want to go to sleep, true, but like I also want to like, be able to function the next day. Come here, man. Come here. Okay, so she finally came over here. So that's her Easter hairdo. It's like kind of green and yellow, or it's kind of messed up now because it's the end of the day and she was playing and stuff. She got a bath today so she could be extra clean. And she's like a really snorty kind of dog. And when she's eating good food, because I fed her some food today at my mom's, and it was like not super good food. She was like picking out the chicken. But like when she gets good food, bro, like, like some goulash or whatever, like really good shit she likes. Dude, she's such a pig, bro. Like she eats so fast and like makes all these real snorty sounds and shit, like when she's eating, like scarfing it up, dude. She's funny, because she's so little and like petite and all that. But then the way she eats, bro, like it's hilarious. But she's so little, like pet her right here. I can feel her ribs. She's very petite. Like Loaf is very muscular. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's very masculine. She's very feminine. She's the epitome of feminine, dude. She's the epitome of feminine. She's skinny. She's not muscular at all. She's passive. She's shy. She's like timid, all that. She has to have me for every single thing. It kind of gets annoying. And she's one of those dogs, the clean dogs, that like follows you everywhere, like follows me to the bathroom and like follows me everywhere. And I know she's going to follow me everywhere. I'm trying to like get shit done and she's following me and like getting in my way and shit. You know what I mean? And I'm usually pretty good about, understanding it's just how she is, but it does get annoying sometimes though. She's like extreme clingy, dude. Okay. Bye, Q. Thanks for coming in. See you later. Take it and lay down. If you don't fall asleep, you go on autopilot. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, to me, it's like a Xanax. Like, it relaxes you and shit. And like, depending on how much you take, sometimes I'll just take a half. I just took a half one now, because I want to take the least that I can possible. Sometimes I need a full one, but I'll take the least possible. You know what I mean? Because I don't like taking extra shit, like, you know, if I don't need it. So, but it does help me with my insomnia. And like, my doctor also gives me tizanidine. It's a muscle relaxer, kind of makes me sleepy too. I take that sometimes. A lot of times I need stuff to help me sleep. Like, sometimes I'll take melatonin. Like, sometimes if I don't have anything, I'll take a Benadryl. That knocks me out. But then Benadryl kind of gives me that same thing where, like, kind of, it's hard to wake up. It's not like I'm tired the whole day like that other shit, but it'll be harder to wake up though. And same thing with Tylenol PM. That shit, it's hard to wake up. I'll just sleep in extra late and shit. I'm like, fuck, I wasted too much of the day. It's the only problem with that shit that I don't like. See how snorty she is? And she's so loud. Like, when we're sleeping, like, she woke me up the other day snoring, dude. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, woke up, like, this loud ass snoring, dude, from this little dog. I was like, oh, she's snoring. And then she'll do stuff like these weird sounds she makes. Like, she's always loud, man, when we're sleeping. But sometimes I'll come out here and, like, sometimes they'll be out here on the couch. Like, they want to sleep. It'd be too hot in there, too cold or something. They'll come out here. But they sleep with me like every night in the bed. They have like little stairs to get up in the bed because they're too little to like jump up there. So they got stairs to get up. And if I'm at Sweetie's house though, they'll sleep with her sometimes. Sometimes they'll just sleep with her. They'll choose her. Or sometimes they'll sleep with me in the beginning and then they'll go down and end up with her in the end of the night. Which makes me feel good because I like that, you know, that they like her that much. They love her that much. So I don't get mad about it. But sometimes I do call Minnie a traitor. She's a traitor. And see, Loaf, sometimes he'll come over here and like want attention too, but like now that he's got that diaper on, he's protesting me, so he'll just sit over there and like be all mad forever. Like, well, we go to sleep, watch tonight, and I'm like, all right, it's time to go to sleep, and I'll see if he'll come in. Because the diaper thing's new, he hasn't been wearing it that much. And here's the thing, I was just putting the diaper on him. It's like called a belly band, and just goes around his belly, you know. And then I put like a maxi pad in there too, so like, because he doesn't pee in there. He's good at holding it. Minnie can't hold it. He's good at holding it. Like Minnie, because I used to have to lock, when I was at Sweetie's house, I have to lock Loaf and Minnie in the bedroom because Loaf would wander around and go pee on shit. But Minnie, she has to go pee in the middle of the night. Like, she has access outside in my house, so she just goes in the middle of the night whenever she needs to. And the same thing at Sweetie's, you know, she can go outside whenever she wants. She can't hold it that long. So she goes in the middle of the night at least once. But if I lock her in there, she ends up peeing in the closet, not because she's marking shit and being a bad dog, because she can't hold it. So I had to figure some new shit out. So I'm like, fuck. So we got to figure some new shit out. So now the diaper thing is going to work because he can hold it. But I was putting just the diaper on him. Okay, you want down now? And but then he would squirm out of it, dude. He'd get out, he'd escape, dude. So I was like, fuck, dude, this ain't working. I try to put on tighter, he'd get out of it. So then I found these things like a straps, dude. It's like these suspenders and like clips on his belly on the bottom, right? And then it goes up and then it splits up into two and it goes around his back and it clips on the back part. And like it's this big old uncomfortable thing, dude. But like I have to put it on him that way because then he'll just, he'll escape out of it. So I feel bad. So now he's got to sleep in this thing. Like I'm sure it's not comfortable. I try to make it, as loose as I can for him, but I mean, what else am I gonna do? I was making him sleep in the kitchen for a while, and then we're at Sweet Tea's, and I was like, he's got to just stay sleeping down here. I didn't have the diaper thing yet. He just got to sleep down here by himself. It is what it is. And she was going to come up, and then Lo was freaking out. And he was like, ooh, 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 like that. And she's like, oh, she felt bad. She couldn't leave him down there by himself. So she just slept down in the recliner, so it's difficult, man. Because they don't know. I don't know if they understand. He don't want to be, he thinks he's being punished. You know what I mean? He don't want to be left down there by himself. That's fucked up. Especially when he's used to like his whole life, sleeping in the bed with me. And all of a sudden he can't, but Minnie can. I'm not going to make Minnie sleep out here. And I try that too. Like I'll make Minnie, because like I used to just leave him in the house. They just have free range of the house and he'd piss all over the place. So then I had to start locking him in the kitchen when I leave. And I put Minnie in there too, so he wouldn't feel like he's being punished, but that's not fair to Minnie. She's a good dog. So now I don't make her. If she's already in there, fine. Or if she wants to go in there, fine. But I don't make her go in there. Sometimes she'll just stay out here, and then it's fine. I'll just make Loaf stay in there. She can have run of the house, because she's a good dog. She doesn't do anything wrong. She never does anything wrong. She listens. She comes when I tell her. She doesn't pee in the house. She doesn't do anything, dude. Loaf's like freaking Problem Child. You know that movie Problem Child from the 90s? That's Loaf, dude. He's Problem Child. And I know it's karma. I know it's me because he's a vibrational match to me, like I've said. That's me. He's like me, dude. He's defiant. He fucking does whatever the fuck he wants. He doesn't care. He doesn't listen about nothing. He's a pain in the ass dog, but I mean, I love him probably more than like any other living thing. It's weird. I love him a lot. I love Minnie too, but there's something about Loaf. It's just like I love him. Like I think I love him more. So, anyways, I can't believe the people. You guys want to hear me talk about like a bunch of bullshit? Not really saying nothing. So that's cool. See if I have anything else before I start getting sleepy. Talk about anything new. Starting to get some allergies and shit. Kind of like stuffy nose. That's true. He doesn't. They both don't like to go outside when it's like cold, but they'll go out there to pee though. Like Minnie, even if it's really cold, she'll go out there to pee and then she'll come right back in. So, but like my house, there's not snow. It's like covered. So they go outside in this balcony thing. That's all I have. It's like a patio. And so she'll go out there to pee. But like she doesn't like the snow. Loaf doesn't care about snow. He likes snow, but Like sometimes, like at Sweet Tea's house, if it's like snow, like she won't want to go outside to go pee or anything. And like Lofi don't care, but she's not scared of the cold. She won't go out there and hang out. But like when it's warm out, like they go out there to just hang out. Like I got little, like mats and shit for them to like lay on because they like to just hang out there in the sun. Dogs are outdoor. Even if though they're kind of indoor, like foofy dogs, they're still dogs though, right? So they still like to be outside and all that. So that's why I need to get. That's one of my goals. I need to get them a yard. They have to have a yard. I just got to try to give them the best life that I can give them. This is not the best life I can give them. I mean, it's acceptable. Like I would never feel good about having like a golden retriever in here. You know what I mean? But like them, they're so small. Like even like, a backyard for a golden retriever, they still need to go to like the dog park and, all that kind of shit. Still got to walk them every day. And I should still walk these guys every day. But at least if they have a backyard though, I mean, a backyard to them is like a dog park for a golden retriever, right? Because they're so small. You got a decent sized backyard and they can run around. They can get full speed, like a golden retriever, you only get full speed for like, they probably can't even get to full speed because they're so big. But, they can get full speed and everything, run around all crazy and bark and do their thing. And Minnie likes to hunt squirrels. So she'll sit there and hunt squirrels, and Loaf just likes to patrol shit and pee on stuff. And he's the guard dog. So he barks at other dogs and barks at anyone. And Minnie's, she's the squirrel hunter and shit. I like to see what she would do with a squirrel if she actually caught one, though. Like, what would she do? Would she kill it? I don't think so. She got like it's an instinct. Like Minnie has like this hunter instinct on her. Like I said, she barks at squirrels and shit. And you can tell the instinct she has because like what dogs do, like a lot of animals do it. And you'll notice they find a spot in the grass at the park and they'll roll around in it. What they're doing is they found like some rabbit piss. So it's instinctual for them to roll around in it. So therefore they smell like their prey so that they can more easily like sneak up on their prey because they smell like their prey now because they got rabbit piss all over them, right? So Minnie does that. She'll find a spot and she'll like freaking roll all over it and shit. Loaf doesn't do that, only Minnie. So like whenever she does that, I'm like, no, because I know what she's doing. I'll stop her. But yeah, she's a hunter, dude. It's instinctual to her. Yeah, so my nephew's coming out this weekend, and how old is he? He's 1. He's gonna have his first birthday, so he's 1 now. He's walking around and stuff. He's an Aries. He's like a cusper though. I think his birthday's the 21st. He's a fire sign. I get along with Aries the best because I'm a fire sign too. Aries and Leo. But all my best friends, I've had a lot of best friends that were Aries. I've had a lot of friends that were Sagittarius too. Oh, your dogs used to roll in bear shit. I don't got no bears around here, so they don't do that. But Loaf used to eat shit when he was a puppy. He'd eat it. And he'd come and like lick me and shit, and it smelled like shit. And all I knew he was eating shit. And he doesn't do it anymore, thank God. But they do that because the mom dog, they'll do that. They'll eat shit. They'll eat the puppy's shit to like keep the area clean. So they learned that from their mom. And so Loaf did it, and his brother Gus used to do it too. But he grew out of it finally, thank God. I was like, it's so disgusting, dude. Lick me after you just ate some shit. Lick me in the face. His breath would smell like shit, like dog shit. But like Loaf was one time, he does this thing where he like takes his bone and shit and he like throws it in the air with his mouth and like catches it and like throws it and like plays fetch with himself and shit. And he was doing that with Sweetie's house with this dead baby bunny that he found outside. And he was like brought it inside and he was like throwing it around and shit. I wasn't even there. I think Sweetie had him. Sweetie had him because like Minnie was in heat or something. I just had Minnie. I don't know why she took him. For whatever reason, she had him because usually she takes Sweetie or she takes Minnie. But he was doing that. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I'm gonna try to wind down, get in my comfy clothes and everything. And so thanks for coming in, everyone. You guys have a great night. Be on the lookout for the video tomorrow. In the morning sometime, gonna drop. Thanks, guys. Peace.